Pretty excited for this one. My name is Magus. I'm joined by Jerry. Hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going, man?
A bit sick, but I'm gonna try to get through it. I hope it won't be too apparent. But yeah, very excited. We have 3 runners here. We have Redslash, Kehanort, and DrunkenDraconian, who are all the top 3 of this category. Which is probably a little bit different than what you are going to be expecting, but yeah, we'll get into that a little bit at the end of the run. It's gonna be pretty good. So yeah, for those who don't know Chrono Trigger, first of all, don't know why you wouldn't know Chrono Trigger, but it's an RPG, obviously. And yeah, we're gonna start out here by naming the character the guy has already started. Yeah, we name all of our characters that will join our party with 1 letter. It works a little bit differently than in most other RPGs, where you just like take the first letter and then delete the last or the following letters. In this game, you have to delete the first couple letters and then confirm that the last letter, in this case it's O, in order to have a 1-letter name. If you would do it the other way around, you would just have the first letter, and then for empty spaces that would still draw out for text, so you would still lose the time. Which is kind of interesting, but yeah, that's just the way it works. For starters here, we'll have 5 minutes to just get a little bit of explanation done. Most notably, they will change their menus. For you, they will also change menu colors, as is apparent here. Normally they don't do that, but yeah, battle speed 1, of course, because we want to go fast and all that good stuff. And then we'll run around a little bit and have a couple cutscenes. So we might as well introduce what this run is all about. Most notably, Chrono Trigger is one of the most manipulatable RPGs out there. So what you saw the guys do at the start before the race, they deleted all their save files. That has one purpose. The battle RNG and the RNG in general is dependent, or like starts at a certain value depending on what frame you load your game on. And from there, they can go ahead and try to manipulate every single battle in the game, which they are going to try to be doing. And yeah, hopefully for all of them, they will all succeed in every manipulation. But it's of course a little bit more difficult than just, you know, pressing a button here and there. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, so basically right now, as Magus said, they deleted all their saves. Basically, we want to get that value for what we're gonna call RNG for sample purposes, starting at 0. That way they can start at a certain value and then just play with it. Every time you enter a fight, your value advances by a certain amount. Every time you do an attack, your value advances by a certain amount. So basically, by trying different outcomes of fights, you can basically try to manipulate it so you can get criticals at certain points, make fights shorter, you know, get the boss to skip an attack, things like that we're going to be talking about throughout the run.
This game is also full of fantastic glitches that we will see. About 15 minutes in, there will be 3 glitches happening at the same time. It's gonna be pretty good. But yeah, we'll get there when we get there. For now, we just have like the introduction. This game, by the way, is you might think RPG. Okay, you have to match a little bit of text and that's it. This game is very movement based, actually. You have a lot of well, first of all, movement can save you a lot of time if you do it very good, and there's a lot of tricks and glitches that are based on how well you... Well, they are not based on how well you move, but the better you move, the faster you are, and the better you can execute those glitches, so it's going to be very interesting. I'm going to personally advise you to watch Redslash, who has exceptionally good movement, if you're interested. I mean, all 3 runners have, of course, top-tier movement, but Redslash is kind of the pioneer of most of the things this game has gone through, so if you're interested in master movement, you should probably check him out whenever a glitch is coming up.
Yeah, the 3 runners are actually very close in skill level. Redslash is obviously a world record holder for multiple categories, and he actually has the world record for 20% with a time of 2:29. And then DrunkenDraconian and Kehanort both have a 2:34. DrunkenDraconian in second place with 2:34.21. Kehanort third place, 2:34.50. So they're between 5 minutes, and there's a pretty volatile glitch most of you have heard of called Lavos shell skip at the end that swing this either way.
Oh yeah, for a race definitely 100%.
Yeah.
We said there's actually no real RNG in this game, but there will be some. There will be some. We'll get to see some very interesting things there. Yeah, the runners are moving out of the intro here, more or less, and Kehanort is already in the first battle, which is, again, we are going to try to use manipulation throughout the whole run, so everything they do will have a purpose.
Kehanort got hit there. He definitely didn't want to get hit.
Yep.
This fight's actually one of the tightest ones in the game. You basically want to attack not the default rolly 2 times in a row, so that you don't get hit at all, and basically get through this faster.
See how the other two do. Yep. I think Kehanort just did a misinput. He targeted the top end when he wanted to target the left one. It's a bit unfortunate, but yeah, the other two get through, so they are on RNG. Kehanort can still fix it. There are backups for if you miss an RNG manipulation. They're technically, like, as long as you know where you are, you can always like try to fix it or like try to get somehow back. You can always reload the game, of course, but that's kind of iffy because the windows are relatively small. We also saw our first skip in the game, the bird skip, very infamous. I guess if you watched the GDQ and watched Chrono Trigger, you've seen that before, but yeah, essentially they are trying to skip over battle triggers, which are everywhere in this game, in areas like you're just trying to avoid these battle triggers. The bird skip is one that is a bit notorious because you basically line yourself up at the end of the bridge there and then hold up to just like kind of graze by that battle trigger, and then you can just skip that bird battle that would normally be there. It's a very important one too, because if you hit that battle trigger, you're definitely off RNG. And you're definitely losing a lot of time in the first part of the game here.
Yeah, and also you have to do that bird skip 4 times in the whole run, so
yep,
you definitely want to get it.
Did they actually have to do it the 4th time though? In this category? I don't know, because I have never run this category.
Because they have to do Sunken Desert to get the Green Dream.
Yeah, I didn't know if they reloaded for RNG or not, so I wasn't sure.
Oh, I'm actually not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if they actually have to hit it, but we'll see,
Yeah. We can see Kehanort taking an early lead here. He's been playing really clean so far.
Mm-hmm.
So far, this has been all movement, basically. So yeah, we're like right at the start. There's like 9 minutes more or less. There are like what you would call the intro. The cool thing about this is that you have bird skip and you have a fight. You have something like, it's not basically just mashing text. You actually get to do something. So it's a little bit less boring than just waiting. So here we're gonna basically learn the story. I mean, if you've played the game, you know, you meet this girl called Marl. She gets teleported to the past. You're looking for her. She turns out to be of royal descent, blah blah blah. That's where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to save the queen now. It'll be pretty interesting. In the forest, we'll actually do all the grinding. In this run, you only have to grind, if I'm not mistaken, 4 battles. 2 are right here in order to get Fire Whirl, and 2 are before Black Tyranno, so you can get Spin Cut. So that's all the grinding we do in this run. If we can skip it, we will. It's a pretty... I don't know, it's pretty weird for an RPG. You don't have to grind almost anything, but this game is actually pretty great with leveling.
Yep.
So yeah, Kehanort getting the first fight pretty well. He was a little bit of RNG, but he still managed to pull it off.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting for Kehanort to see his Nugget fight, though. Because I'm not too sure. There's a backup that you can use in the next grand fight here for Kehanort, but I, of course, don't remember that. You have to do things slightly differently, and Nuggets will still work out, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's see what he does. Basically, the RNG in this part is you basically want to set it for a fight called the Nagaet fight that's coming up really soon. Nagaets can do this spell called Slow Spell. Each time they do a slow spell, you waste 6-7 seconds per spell, and if you have the worst RNG possible, the 4 of them can do slow spell. You already lost like 24 seconds there at least, just because of being off RNG, so yeah, it's really important at the start just to try and keep that RNG.
Alright, so both players, or all players, all 3 players, I'm usually commentating 2 players, but now it's 3. They all have Firewhirl now, as DD finishes his second fight there, and Kehanort moving into the Nuggets. As Jerry mentioned, it's going to be interesting to see. These Nuggets have high physical defense, as you will be seeing by the attack here. This attack is scripted, though, in so that they don't do the slow spell.
Yep.
Alright, and the reason we learned Firewhirl is exactly so we can hit 3 Nagas at the same time here. And,
yeah, see, Kehanort got a slow spell there, but only one. He was pretty lucky.
Yep, that's okay still.
Yeah.
It's still a bit of time lost, but yeah. All things considered, that's still pretty good.
Yeah, fire just destroys the Nuggets. Without fire, as you saw, a crit deals around 20 damage. They have 60 HP.
Yeah.
So, it will be a really long fight.
And a lot of slow spells.
Yeah. And here we get Frog. Frog actually is going to be pretty useful in this category. Compared to any percent no LSS. He actually gets to feature in Sunken Desert, which basically be the final boss battle for this run. We'll talk about that in a bit. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Yeah. For the first 2 hours, roughly, this run is very similar to the any percent no Lavos shell skip category, which is the legacy category basically for this game.
Yep.
But after that, like the half hour after that, that's where things start to get really interesting.
Right now they're going to the Cathedral. All of them are taking the lower path. There are basically 2 paths you can take. If you take that lower path, they've been picking a revive. That's in case you mess something up specifically, especially during our series, and you can actually get back on track without losing too much time.
Yep.
You can see Redslash there. He's trying to do a glitch called the fade out glitch. We're gonna see it again in a bit, but the way that works is if you enter a loading zone, the game actually takes quite a bit of time to take you out. So if you interrupt it with the menu, you can restart the timer basically for the loading zone, and you can move with it. And then once you touch something, like a power tap he was grabbing in that case, it'll take him out of the loading zone and he'll skip the animation. It's a pretty useful glitch. We're gonna see it in a bit as well.
Yep. Pretty useful is probably an understatement. We're skipping about like half the game with that, but yeah. No, not really, but yeah.
Yeah, and well, I'm gonna start just talking a little bit about it, but if you do your fatal glitch and you stand on top of the save point, the game basically, and then after standing on top of the save point, the loading zone takes you back to the next room. The game thinks you're still standing on top of the save point, and you get something called save anywhere, which that's what basically destroys a couple of bosses like Hekran and Sombor and Jagra in this case.
Yep. Going to be seeing that very soon. For now, they're moving through the last mandatory battle here, which all of them pretty much aced, I believe, yeah. Redslash caught a bit up to Kehanort.
Yeah.
TT's close behind him.
Yeah, pretty close race. You get the heal there. Usually don't have to get the heal in this category, but it helps set the menu nicely for the next part.
Yep.
So, Kehanort got into a fight. If he did the safety save, he could just reset.
He did, but he would still have to wait for the henches, so running away is fine. The henches spawn on the left and right still, I believe.
So if you blinked, you missed it, but we can see it on DrunkenDraconian side. He's doing the fatal glitch, so he enters the loading zone. He's gonna stand on top of the save point. He's gonna do a menu now. While DrunkenDraconian delays his menu until here. He basically equips some stuff and then he does the unequip glitch. What you have to do in that case is basically you stand on your accessory and then you press up and R on the same frame. And then the game thinks it's gonna try to equip your accessory on your armor slot. And then you press A, but since there's nothing, you can't equip your accessory in your armor slot. You can basically unequip your current armor and equip nothing. That's really important because it's gonna give us extra magic defense and extra magic attack in this version.
This is totally normal, by the way, what the guys are doing right now. This is how the game is supposed to be played.
Yeah. Yeah, this is intended % by the way.
So yeah, through the safe anywhere. Normally what's supposed to happen here at the boss, they all opened up the menu at the end of the red carpets, and they did save, which you're normally not supposed to do. Normally what's going to happen is you run to the end of that carpet there, you get into a cutscene trigger that paralyzes your party, and then you get the cutscene, get to fight the boss, and all that good stuff. We skipped that by basically saving there, which we're not supposed to, reloading the game, and then the game will place us in the cutscene but not paralyze us, so we can still run around and I'll do all that good stuff. And if the boss is off screen, well, the game will start the fight, and then it won't have the sprite on screen, and it will think, okay, you beat the boss, and it's all over. And the next cutscene gets triggered, and you basically skip Yakra that way. It's pretty neat. And we're going to see similar things happening for a couple other bosses. It's not possible for every boss in this game, unfortunately, because sometimes either, well, there is really no way to save over a boss trigger and then, trigger the fight and then make cutscenes continue, or you do need to fight bosses in order to keep the storyline going, like to activate certain story triggers. But there's still some that you can skip over. It's pretty going to be used pretty heavily.
Yeah. Redslash coming up to get frog skip. Let's see if he gets it.
Hardest skip in the game.
Hardest skip in the game.
We did it. If you run into frog, you only have to run into frog. You'll trigger a cutscene and that loses you, I don't know, 30 seconds.
Yeah.
It's just if you don't pay attention that happens, really.
So on the way back, Redslash is gonna use that save anywhere glitch he still has from the Yakra room. He's gonna save here. He's gonna reload, and I think we should talk about what he's gonna do here. Basically, he's gonna wait a little bit on his menu, and he's gonna load a certain RNG seed in order to keep manipulating it. So basically, the way that works is, depending on the time you spend on the title screen, is the certain RNG seed you load. So in this case, this guy wants to wait between 0.4 and 0.7 seconds to load a certain seed that's gonna be really good for the next part of the game and the Dragon Tank.
Yep. So like we mentioned at the start of the run, whatever RNG you start on depends on when you load your game. And the windows are really tiny, like Jerry said, between 0.4 and 0.7 seconds after you see the save screen. They need to reload within that window here in order to have good RNG for the next part. They are, of course, experienced enough, and usually Chrono Trigger runners usually have some sort of way to time their reloads. Like some runners, they just wait. Other runners, they scroll through the save screens a certain amount of time and then load the game. Other runners actually do use pendulums and stuff, which is really neat, because the game swings the thing at the start, and it's kind of thematical. But yeah, every runner has its own way to load or reload the game, and should they miss one of the reloads, they will notice relatively early, because damage rolls will always be the same. If you are on the right RNG, if they are on the wrong RNG and get a different damage roll, they can notice that in some cases. And what they might try to do is they might try for a reload at a different point just to try to get back on RNG. It's not neck-breaking in most cases if you're not on RNG, it's just a huge time saver in most cases. Some cases, of course, it can be lethal, because this run, especially towards the end, this run is routed very, very tightly, so we're not going to level at all. And if you're off RNG at the end of this run, it might end up being a bit, well, I don't think they can die if they play well, but it's going to be an uphill battle, let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Kehanort, by the way, we totally missed that at the start of the race. He got candy skipped. That's why he was so far ahead.
Oh, that's true. Nice. Candy skip is this skip. Basically, there's a candy cutscene right before you go into the Luca cutscene right at the start of the game. In this case, he skips it, and in this category, you get it on the way back. So, but it does save 61 frames, so 1 second and 1 frame. In New Game Plus, it's really important since you don't come back. You have to basically get it to save those 10 seconds or however long that takes.
Yep. Now we have another short break here, more or less. We're in the trial. Now the trial is pretty straightforward. You just answer 2 times that you know you are actually guilty, and you want to be charged with like something. That's actually what we do. However, well, the outcome of the trial is basically based on what you did on the fair. Since we didn't do anything, it's more or less 50-50 what's going to happen here. You can either get guilty or not guilty. There's going to be 7 jurors, and 6 of them are set up. Like, they will always be set that 3 of them will guilty, 3 of them will be not guilty. The 7th one, since we didn't do anything, that one is actually random. And it's based on the frame you enter this, actually. So you have absolutely no control over whether you can get guilty or not guilty. We do want to get guilty. Guilty is good.
Redslash just got guilty. The second juror, basically the one that decides. As Magus said, that's the one that's completely random in our case.
Yep. And guilty, we do want to be guilty. If you're not guilty, you do get an ether, which is like, yeah, great, good stuff. Don't really need it. If you do get guilty, you do get less text boxes right here, so you save time.
Triple guilty?
Oh my, that's fantastic, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the guilty-not guilty ratio is a little bit more towards not guilty.
Yep. Slightly in favor for not guilty.
Yeah.
But all free runners get good luck.
Yeah, they're all saving those 5-6 seconds, more or less. You basically get 2 less text boxes and 1 shorter one.
Yep. Which doesn't seem significant, but it does actually save a lot of time. Since text draws out in this game a bit slowly, like, yeah, it does make a huge difference. LSS stands for Lavos Shell Skip. Now, you tell me what you think about that name. We'll get to the bottom of what the Lavos Shell Skip is and how it works and why not a lot of people do it when we get there. It is something to behold, that's for sure. It's about going to be in, well, 220 into the run, roughly.
Yeah, so they're not getting their ether, but they don't care. We don't need that ether.
Yep. We do, however, want to sip our coffee right there and recover HP and MP.
Yep.
It would be mighty bad if we wouldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so the runners will know that they are on the right RNG. Remember, they reloaded the game in Truce Canyon. They will know when they fight this guard here and Cyclone him. They will Cyclone for 60 damage if they are on the right RNG. I can't imagine anybody missed the load, but we'll find out right here. Alright, Redslash is definitely on the right RNG.
Yep. He's gonna skip those shields, basically.
You can just run in between the shields. Ooh, Redslash, I think, missed the fade out there. We're fading out this bridge here, not because it's faster. It's actually slower than running on the bridge and killing the guards the normal way. However, we want to have a good RNG setup for the boss, so we're doing the fade outs here to activate the trigger, and then once the trigger is activated for the guards that you usually fight on the bridge here, you can just run over afterwards.
Yep. And then Redslash has to get what they all have, right? To get past these cards that are turning around. That first card can turn left, down, or right. I take the fastest he can turn is every 24 frames. And the top guy turns the fastest for every 48 frames. So basically what that means is if they want to throw you, they will.
Yep. Redslash got through it very well, though. Very nice. Unfortunately, I think Kehanort had to reload. He did safety save before... Oh, he reloads again.
Yeah.
He did safety save, though, before. He can basically do the same load he's supposed to do at Truce Canyon because, you know, it's still the same setup, so all he has to do is hit that load, 0.4 between 0.7.
You can continue without the RNG, but he's gonna lose from this point until the R series. He's gonna lose about 1 minute to 1 minute 20, just because of being off RNG.
So 2 reloads are still about going to be a little bit faster than not having the RNG at all.
So Redslash is right now in the Dragon Tank fight, about to start. This is the fight where it's gonna become evident how strong RNG manipulation is. Gonna get a lot of early hits. Normally the way you should do the fight is kill the other parts of the body and then the head at the end. But in this case we can out-damage the head, which the head basically heals the whole body. That's pretty hard to do, but thanks to RNG you're just gonna see critting left and right.
Yep. The reason RNG manipulation works as well as it does is we of course play on ATB weight, so in a lot of cases when we're doing fights, it is routed in a way where your ATB is full and you have to input your commands while an animation is going on. In most of the cases, it's not always that easy, but yeah, most of the time you'll have some sort of buffer or some sort of, you know, way to buffer your attack. And, ooh, yeah, the Flame Toss skip there. Skips 1 attack from the boss there, for whatever reason. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but yeah, it does.
Yeah, I don't know either, I just know what Davino sort of, like, showed it.
Yeah.
So yeah, 4 seconds.
Yeah, what the tank is supposed to do there, when you do the Cyclone Flame Toss combo, it's supposed to shoot missiles at you, and it has queued up another attack after that. However, if you do the Cyclone and wait in the Flame Toss menu, it just doesn't do the other attack, for whatever reason. Like, it just cancels the attack out. I don't know.
Getting that shelter, pretty important. And then Redslash right there skipped the text box between the 2 guards. If you basically run really close to the guards, be it on the right side or left side, right side's faster. You have to run to the right after anyways. You can skip 1 text box, basically like 5-6 seconds.
Yeah. Shelters, by the way, are like tents in Final Fantasy, if you don't know.
Yep.
Okay, so DD also threw Dragon Tank, and Kehanort's just starting.
And now we're gonna see future skip. Just kidding, guys. Future skip.
Yeah, we should put out a bounty for future skip.
Yeah.
Just like $10,000, whoever finds it.
$10,000.
I think that's how much it's worth at this point, I don't know. We've been teased with future skip for years.
Yeah, agree. So now basically you get kicked out of the castle, go into this portal to the future. The future is a pretty tricky area, I want to say. It's an area where it's really easy just to lose time. It's kind of execution heavy. We're gonna talk about it in a bit. Lab 16, and then Arizome as well. There's some pretty. Arizome has some of the most. I'm gonna say like most advanced time saves where you can save a second, but you can lose like 30 if you get caught by the bugs. So, you have to value. You have to be pretty good to get past that. I don't expect. Maybe Redslash will go for the fast cycle. I mean, he's Redslash.
Yeah, I don't think Redslash is holding back. Okay, Kehanort got done with Dragon Tank as well, so he's falling up here. Probably about a minute and a half behind at this point.
Yeah, not too bad. He got pretty. He just had those loads were not correct, unfortunately for him.
Yep.
So Redslash is entering lab 16. Basically, what we do in here is basically these rats move in cycles. So basically, what Red did there, he grabbed the Berserker, immediately touched the rat, then the rat steals him tonic. And then if you keep the text box up, you can run past areas where there are fights. Like right there, there's a fight supposed to trigger between the plants, but it doesn't trigger because he has that stolen text box up. So you can do that to get through this place so fast, and that was obviously a first cycle from Redslash.
Yep. So yeah, they don't even have to avoid the battle triggers in this one. Just run into a rat, get a tonic stolen, and then you're free to run over battle triggers however you want, as long as the stolen text box is up.
Yep.
Or stored,
first cycle
I should
for
say.
DD as well.
Yeah. Very nice, very nice.
Yeah, we grabbed the Berserker. We're gonna talk about the Berserker later. It's a pretty powerful item.
Yeah. So Berserkers, or does anybody want to guess what the Berserker does? I don't know. In most RPGs, the Berserk status, it can be useful, but it's not really that great. Like, yeah, you can't control your character and all that. However, Chrono Trigger is a bit special. First of all, the Berserker obviously berserks you, duh. And if you're berserked, your attack and defense is increased, which, yeah, that's good, but you can't control the character. However, we have power over the RNG, like full power. So we can actually sort of control the Berserk character more or less by, routing the RNG properly, and that's of course what is done in this run. So you're going to be seeing heavy use of the Berserker throughout the whole run, because obviously, well, if you have it equipped, you do higher damage. Another quirk is that, we can hold down, I guess on default it's X in battle to automatically attack. The Berserker still gives you a slight ATB advantage because you don't actually have to select the command in order to attack. So that is also very, very important for routing some battles with RNG manipulation, because you do get a slight speed boost, practically speaking, through that, which is very, very useful as well.
Yep. So we missed it, but they skipped the Guardian fight. There's basically a huge robot there. But if you do the fade out glitch, you can skip through it. That room is the only room in the game where if you press the X button or the X button, you trigger a fight. So basically what these guys do is Redslash changed his controls at the start of the game. So he has X set to something else. So the game only checks for X, doesn't really check for menu. So the fight just never activates.
Yep. I didn't even know there was a robot there. But yeah, that one room, like Jerry said, where Guardian is supposed to be, is pretty special. You do have to change your controls for that one if you want to skip him. Which most runners do that anyways, simply because they are more comfortable doing skips when they have controls a little bit closer to each other. Because your normal menu button is X in this game. It's pretty far away from the start button, which we also use for the fade out. So most runners change that anyways in order to have a more comfortable hold of the controller. Which I can only, if you are interested in running this, I can only recommend starting out with different controls. Like, it's going to help you out. Trust me. But yeah, most runners do that at the start of the run anyways, so yeah.
So there's a question, what are the differences between SNES and DS? DS has basically all the glitches patched, and we haven't really seen a real DS speedrun.
Yep.
I guess it would it would fall into a different game basically because all the glitches are just gone.
Well, yeah, it would basically be a glitchless run.
Yeah.
More or less. So
More or less,
if
yeah. It
you've
has some
seen,
different areas and things, but
yeah, if you've seen Puexel run glitchless, for instance, that's about how a DS run would look, roughly.
so Redslash is gonna get the bike key. The bike key lets us activate the, Johnny and get to run to the next part of the future. Abonis, who is another German runner, has been toying with something, and there's a pretty interesting way where if you actually do a save anywhere glitch right after activating the car, Johnny's car, you can actually save in a weird state, and after reloading, you actually beat the race. However, you're still on the wrong side.
Aha.
So yeah, that was pretty unfortunate. And actually, the fate get the save anywhere glitch here takes a long time because the only way is to get it from the dome.
Yep.
It's like a minute and a half in fade outs at least. So it would be slower, but I mean, it would be something pretty cool if it would work.
Oh yeah, by the way, if you check Kehanort's screen, that's also a fade out into the cutscene right here. You skip half the cutscene that way. Which is pretty nice. The other two runners, of course, also did it, but we just kind of, This run is very fast-paced, you can't just, keep up with free runners especially, so yeah, there you go. Kehanort was nice enough to fail, quote-unquote, the load, so we can catch up in case we miss something on his stream.
Now, you want to see the best runner doing the best Johnny runner. You can see Redslash. He basically wants to bounce in front of him so he can get more speed. And I mean, Redslash is the best in the whole community doing this.
He had 1k before 500, dude. Oh man. Is he gonna get 2k? Oh my god.
Almost.
Yes.
He played it safe because it's a race.
Dude. So yeah, I mean, I'm mighty proud of being able to get 1600 in that race, but yeah, he's just like casually doing 1900. It's important in a way where if you bounce in front of him, you do save time on the race a little bit. The more WP you have, the more time you save, basically. But yeah, it's not like it's heavily important. The most important thing is winning this race. Like, if you lose it, you have to do it again, or cross the ruins on... you see DD is going to play it very, very safe there.
Yeah.
Or you have to cross the ruins by foot, which is, well, it's a huge time loss, so yeah. Alright, we saw the first use of Berserker there. We had it on Marl, she got a couple creds. You can see it on DD stream now as well.
Ooh, he didn't equip Berserker.
Ooh.
I think he maybe forgot.
Yeah, I think he might have forgot to equip that. Only equip the load weapons.
Yeah.
Well, I would say I jinxed it, but that was so close to the fight starting that I might not have jinxed it. I don't know. He also still has the side scoop on, interestingly enough. Which Luca is supposed to have the bandana at this point, I believe.
Huh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, she should have bandana. That you do that during the Yakra skip.
Mm-hmm. It's not...
DD is actually a runner that's gonna take a different route than the other two. He actually uses Luca for Magus and Black Tyranno.
Oh yeah, that's right. He wanted to show that off.
Yeah, so that's gonna be pretty cool. We're gonna be able to see Chrono, Frog, Robo from Redslash and Kehanort for Magus, and then DrunkenDraconian is gonna use Luca, and then for Black Tyranno, Redslash and Kehanort are gonna use Marl, and DD is gonna use Luca as well. It's a little bit different fights. And yeah, as you all know, the Robo roll playing in the background. Best song. So right here we wanna take Luca. Marl's a little bit stronger, But I honestly don't remember why we took Luca. I think it was because wanted her to level or something. But yeah, Maro can actually hit one more than Luca with the load ball. But Luca can be helpful with the R series by killing one of them.
Yeah.
With the fire. So this in Redslash's screen, you're gonna see an acid. This orange guys have a lot of defense, but if we're on the right RNG, as Redslash of course he is, he's gonna just casually crit for the exact damage we need to kill him. So it makes this way faster. If you get like really bad RNG, you can just keep hitting once on him like 10 times, and he hits pretty hard. He hits like 30s, mid 30s. So you don't want that. No safety save from Redslash, okay.
Confident, eh?
Yeah. Dying in our series is a pretty big time loss anyway. It's like 6 minutes.
Yeah.
Because of the saves all the way back here. Usually it doesn't happen. Oh my god, I should shut up. So basically in this next room, Redslash just entered. There's a quote-unquote random fight. The fight changes every single frame. This game runs at 60 frames per second. So basically there's 60 different patterns they can get for this fight. They want to get 5 greens, which is the best pattern. Yeah, we're gonna see what Red gets.
Yeah.
So just a standard mediocre pattern from Red.
It's kind of an ugly one. The greens are close to the reds, that's the problem. If you attack a green one that is close to red slime, they will start counter-attacking.
Yeah, Red got really lucky here. He managed to actually get the green pretty separated from the reds. So he actually didn't get any counter-attacks. And usually Robo will one-hit the greens, so usually. You have to be really unlucky for him not to.
Yeah.
So that was not a good pattern for Red, and you're seeing why. Red's just hitting once, like all those cyclones were ones. Yeah, this can take a while if you get pattern RNG. Hopefully Red gets good damage rolls.
Yep, you know you have a bad fight when the battle theme loops the second time, like completely. Then you know, okay, this is not good.
1, 1, 3, come on game. Luca. Oh, 4 from Luca, that's rare. Luca's max hit is a 2, so 4 with the crit means she hit her max. I think DD might just go for it in this case. He got a little bit of he got a weird pattern. And you're gonna see the counter attack on his side. He's actually gonna get double countered. Oh my god.
That's...
If it was me, I would heal Luca. You don't want her to die.
Yep. You do get a level after this battle, and that can be somewhat important for our series.
Yep. Yeah, in this case he should go for it, because they're gonna die with the Cyclone.
Hopefully.
It's really rare you hit 3s with your Cyclone, but I mean, it can happen. It's just really rare.
Yeah.
The green ones have a little bit less defense than the orange ones.
I think aside from the counterattacks, DD is having a bit of a better fight though.
Yep. Yeah, I completely agree. Until he got a 1. Robo with some nice damage. Robo was the strongest one, as you can see.
Yep. This is just finish Lavos as soon as possible. Yeah.
Yep. Actually, Kehanort got a pretty good pattern, but he just waited a little bit too long to use his Cyclone, so he has them all in a weird position.
Yeah.
He's waiting. He's kind of waiting too long. You can approach this fight. There's not a right way to approach this fight, in my opinion. The way I approach this fight is try to take out the green ones first.
Yeah.
Since they are the counter ones. No, Kehanort just seems kind of... Yeah, he's gonna take the orange first. He doesn't want to get countered. And in that case, getting countered by 3 would mean Chrono would die, so he doesn't want to do that. Just gonna play it safe. I think it's a good move. Yeah, so the fastest we can beat Lavos is getting the Green Dream. So we're gonna advance the story all the way, beat Black Tyranno, and then just basically backtrack to doing the side quests. Basically, we need to get on all the way to Seal because we need to talk to the lady that activates the Green Dream side quest.
I mean, technically, they could just grind for 4 hours now, and then go beat Lavos. It's a possibility.
Yeah,
There's
well, okay.
speedruns set up on YouTube if you're interested. They just cut out the grinding though. It's pretty boring.
Yeah. Yeah, I had completely forgotten about that one. So our series for Red. Yeah, so he's pretty good. Yeah. Basically, when I input your Cyclone before they attack you, you basically want a Cyclone 4 times. Redslash uses the mid-tonic strat, so he's gonna kill Chrono here. Ooh, he's getting hit 3 times. I think that's the warrior. Okay. He got the warrior pattern. Basically, if Chrono gets hit for 32, 30, 32, you can actually skip that mid-tonic and just do the 4 cyclones. However, it's super risky, and it would only save a little bit of time.
Yeah.
There's 2 ways of approaching this fight. I think at least Red and DrunkenDraconian will both do the mid-tonic strat. You can also have Luca kill one of the R series guys, and that will just make sure that you actually can't die.
Yep.
If
Now,
you play.
notable about this fight is once you eliminate one column of them, the other one, or the column that is left, will start counter-attacking you, which is why we do a Cyclone on the front, 2 on the back, and then 1 on the front again, so we can basically kill them without them ever counter-attacking. Because the counter-attacks hurt. They hurt very, very, very much.
Yep. The counterattacks from the back row actually hurt. Well, no. They all do the same counterattack, right?
Yeah, they just juggle you. And
yeah,
stuff
they
like
juggle
that,
you,
yeah.
and if there's only one, he like shoots this beam at you.
Yeah, if only one R series is left and you attack and he doesn't die, he does an area bomb, which is
Oh yeah.
very ow. Very ow. Can't recommend.
DrunkenDraconian doing great R series fight as well. He also used the
Yeah.
mid-tonic strat. The reason you have to do something and not just 4 cyclones is if you get the worst possible RNG and the 6 robots hit Chrono, he dies. It's actually impossible for the 6 to hit Luca, so she's fine. She won't die. But the 6 can actually hit Chrono. There's just that RNG that permits that, and since the fight we did is kind of random with the acid alkalines, we don't know where we're sitting at on RNG. And you're gonna see the end of time from Redslash. It's gonna be a pretty important place later on. But right now is where we actually get magic, so Magic's basically breaks this game open.
Yep. So we have been learning abilities on our characters by getting tech points, but it's actually not important because right here we're going to be catching up anyways. If you haven't learned, like, you know, you can learn 2 techs for like the 3 characters you have from 1000 AD. If you haven't, then right here you'll get your spells. For spells, you get lightning, ice, and fire for them. And if you haven't learned, like Chrono for instance has Cyclone and Slash, and we haven't learned Slash yet, you will learn Slash automatically as well. And your tech points will get basically reset, like, to a certain point. So tech points start mattering from this point onwards, not before this, but from now on, tech point grinding is a thing.
Yeah, there's also a thing in this game where if you level up, I think it's when you level up, you get double tech points.
Yep.
So the route's just routed perfectly that way, so you can actually try at least to try and level up where you get the most tech points. That's actually the most useful in 100%, where try to do that with the robots that give 100, but some of these cases it also applies.
No. Whenever you learn attack, I believe it is.
Okay.
So, like, say Chrono learns Spin Cut, and you got like 20 tech points out of that battle. You get the 20 tech points, learn Spin Cut, and then the game is like, hey, I still have to give you the 20 tech points, so you get them again.
Okay, Redslash is gonna clear the text for the bucket. So that bucket's gonna be important, just remember that. That's the bucket that goes to Lavos.
Or does it?
We'll find out. After they learn magic, you can see Redslash here. He's gonna do kind of a new strat, well, sort of new, called Cake and Dash. You can basically eat the cake, change your team, and you can move. You can unfortunately not get out in the first burst, but in the second one you can go out and skip 1 or 2 text boxes, saves a little bit of time.
Yep.
Into Hecarim's Cave. This fight has a little bit of randomness. Depending on what RNG you're at, Marl can get a crit. She gets a crit, you save like 5 seconds. But it's since we're not on RNG right now, since we lost it because of the acid alkaline, it's just completely random if we get it or not. Just a nice time save if it actually lands. Okay, so Redslash didn't get the ether there. He missed the chest. I don't know if he... Okay, he does need to get... I'm dumb. So since you don't fight the shell, you don't need that many ethers, that's true.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see something different here. You can run away from fights in this game, which is something I didn't know until I started speedrunning. If you hold L and R, you have like a little bar, like your action bar, that's actually invisible, that starts filling up. So in this case, what you basically do is you fill it up, and then you hold L and R, you enter the menu, and since we're on wait, the enemies don't attack us, but that bar keeps filling up. So we just let it fill up, close the menu, and we automatically run away.
Then
red
out there.
Skip, yeah. It'll move so fast. DD is actually going to get some tabs that Redslash didn't get, but I'll let Magus explain Hecarim Skip here.
Alrighty. So yeah, you saw Yakra Skip earlier. If you haven't, well, you're in for a treat. It's the same principle. You're gonna get the safe anywhere like that. And then, Red is missing it. There is a battle trigger here for the next boss fight, Hecarim. What we're going to try to do is, we're going to try to dash basically just right before this battle trigger in a very specific spot. There we go. I think Red got it now. Okay, there we go. And then if you're in the right spot, after you reload, the game... there's basically like a grid where the game can place you. It's not like it can place you 1 pixel forward when you save 1 pixel at a time. It works a little bit differently. I'm not exactly sure about the pixel window, but yeah, you want to be as close to the battle trigger as possible to open the menu there. And then when you save and reload, you save past the battle trigger, so you can run up to Hecarim, trigger him by, bumping into him, go back and start the fight, which is very important, and then basically skip Hecarim that way. Very, very nice. Now, why is it important to run into Hecarim to trigger him disappearing, and then run into the battle trigger? Now, here's the thing. The story advances once you run into the battle trigger, so if you would just bump into Hecarim or just skip him, you couldn't actually progress the game. Which is kind of weird that they tied the story trigger to not beating Hecarim, but like activating the Hecarim battle. But that's how it is, so that's how we have to do it.
Yeah. There's no bridge if you don't actually talk there. So Redslash is gonna do my favorite glitch in the game, called End of Time Save Anywhere. This is like a mini LSS, so watch it closely. He's gonna just store the text box. You can hold A during the opening the menu, so you actually activate the pillar. You set precisely, and on a specific frame, you wanna hold start an A. And then once that's called a sip. Once the sip starts, you can actually change your team and you can move while the game is trying to send you into the 600. And you can stand on top of the save point. And we can get the glitch that we've done a couple times now, called Save Anywhere. Just a pretty neat way of doing it there.
Easy every time.
Easy.
In general, normally when your party's supposed to be paralyzed in this game, if you can somehow switch the party order, the game will unparalyze you. That's basically like how a lot of skips later on in 100% as well would work. We have an Atropos skip that works in a similar way, and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's generally speaking. If you can change the party order when you're supposed to be paralyzed, you will be unparalyzed from that, and that's going to play a big role as well in the LSS.
Yeah, that's true. So if you don't get the save anywhere from the end of time, you have to go into the Cathedral. That takes 33 extra seconds.
Yep.
So right here, Red just basically needs to talk to the chef. He cancels some text. So basically, if you have the text and then you basically move the character off screen, you don't need to wait for a text to load. That text box just close it. So you basically just do that a few times for it to cancel. And he's now gonna go back and try and do Somber Skip, which a little bit different than Hecron and Jakra. You don't need save anywhere. No, wait, you do need save anywhere. I'm just dumb. Just a little bit different, and you're gonna see why, because it's divided into two different parts. The first one is called the Captain Skip, which I think it's the hardest one, and then just Somber Skip.
Nah, he got locked out of the menu, so he missed it.
Rip. Yeah. He got a bad frame. So if you blink, you missed it, but Redslash just got the Captain Skip right there. And he's gonna go for Somber Skip now, perfect. Once you do Somber Skip, it's really important that you don't save over your file, because if for whatever reason you missed it, you get forced into the fight. So if you don't have a backup file, you're basically screwed.
Yep.
Oh, we got safety. Sorry.
No, sorry, my bad.
It's alright, we got the safety market from Redslash. Usually the route just does this after.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm surprised as well.
Yeah, so usually you would delay the menu, but if you... they are going to reload here and going to try to do some very... Well, I don't even want to call it risky strats, but if you make a mistake or something goes wrong, you're basically done.
Yeah, there's actually a backup now at the top save point. So there's a backup now. I just don't know how well tested it is. But yeah, right now they're doing their menu, equipping Berserker on Chrono, and then just saving and reloading. And this is called Tata Skip. So basically you save in the bottom and then you're just at the top. And you can skip talking to Tata and running away from the Oguns. And this fight's pretty important. Depending on the damage you deal there on that Ogun, he dealt the 195. He's gonna do some certain actions in order to try to get a certain RNG. Depending on where you load, you can either get 193 or 195. You have to actually pay attention to that damage and then play the fight a little bit differently if you get either damage. 195 is a little bit faster because it gives you the option to actually set Luca to fire for the next fight. But overall it's the same. You end up on the same RNG. So while Redslash just goes through the mountains without getting into any fight, DrunkenDraconian is actually going to the Cathedral to get save anywhere, because he actually missed the end of time save anywhere, so he needs to re-get save anywhere. So the way save anywhere works is if you enter another room with a save point, you lose save anywhere. So in this case, they entered the end of time that has a save point. So he has to re-get it, since he missed the end of time save anywhere.
Yep.
Had to get it again. And unfortunately, Kehanort had some trouble with our series. He has to go and do this again. He's got a really good pattern now. Yep.
Even worse, he was kind of like, I think he stream lagged, but he said in IRC that he soft locked on Hecron because he missed the skip and saved over his save file.
Oh no.
And so he had to go back to our series, but he'll keep going.
Yeah.
Who knows? He might catch up because, you know, the trick at the end is kind of hard. But yeah.
You never know. So there's something in Denador that Redslash didn't get a chance to show off. It's called Fast Bird. saves 8 seconds. It's pixel perfect, but it's 0 risk. We'll see if DrunkenDraconian goes for it later.
Alright, and this is the first time we for real use the Berserker here. I already alluded to it. Again, most of the time we have set up the fights in a way where you have some sort of buffer window. I think there's only one input in these battles that is not buffered.
Yeah, in this first fight, there's 2 inputs that are not buffered. In the next one, all of them are buffered.
Alright. Think we're good here.
Yeah. DD actually does a different setup on the Ogun fight because he does a different massive fight.
Oh,
it's pretty similar.
Oh yeah, there's 2 different ones. Wait.
The one Redslash is using is a little bit faster.
There is one with like rocket punch fire and then fire punch.
Yeah. Well, only one fire punch at the end.
Yeah.
So here, basically, Redslash wants to input his attacks while Chrono's animations are still going. If for whatever reason even though you might be in your menu, just delay a little bit, you might just miss the RNG. You want to just input your attacks during animations. Just pretty weird how this boss works. That even if you're just in the menu and just wait a little bit, you can screw things up. Hitting Chrono. Okay, Redslash is looking fine so far. So yeah, as you can see, the Berserker automatically attacks. Oh, I think DrunkenDraconian got fast bird. No, he missed it by 1 pixel.
Yeah.
Rip. Kidding. Yeah, Redslash is doing pretty well in this fight.
So yeah, by the way, if you're wondering, how we take no damage from the slash attack, and how we are doing so much damage with our own spells. Well, we did explain how to unequip stuff, but not what it does, did we?
Yeah.
So yeah, we unequipped our equipment for Luca at the start of the run, and what that effectively does is you're not supposed to have no armor on in this game, and the game really doesn't. Well, actually, maybe it likes not having armor on because, you know, it gives you magic resistance towards water, lightning, and shadow elemental magic spells. Like, they will do, like, literally no damage to you. And it does give you a significant magic boost at that. The only thing that can now hurt you even more are physical-based attacks, obviously, because you have less armor, duh. And, fire elemental spells. For some reason, they don't protect you against that. I'm not sure why that is, but I guess it has to do with like how the game is programmed. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a reason we used the English version instead of the Japanese version. Even though the Japanese saves around 6 minutes in text, because it has faster text, the Japanese version doesn't give you a magic attack boost for an equip, only magic defense boost. And believe it or not, that magic offense saves a lot of time throughout the whole run. It was for a while that we only used that the Japanese was used actually for any percent, while English was used for no SS because you actually had to fight the shell. But it was found out that English is actually faster for all the categories now, except New Game Plus, which is pretty short.
That menuing though, Craigism.
Yeah, Red's now gonna actually unequip all of his characters right here. I mean, the one that's missing, basically.
Okay, he didn't forget to unequip the Berserker. That's a common mistake I make. Like, you have the Berserker on here, and then you have to unequip it because you're running into battles. And Chrono is the fastest character you have, so if you're trying to run away from battles, well, tough luck if he has the Berserker, he's going to attack. So you want to make sure to unequip it so you don't get extra attacks in battles.
Yeah. Actually, the The reason you can actually unequip things is because in the Blackbird you actually get your equipment taken off, and I'm pretty sure you get those boosts, so you don't get like you're not completely defenseless. So we can just abuse them like, well, no, we're not at the Blackbird. We're not gonna see the Blackbird in this round though. That's way too far. We're not even gonna see the Epoch.
When do we see the Blackbird? We never get to see it.
Never. In 100% only.
Yep.
Also, if anybody wants to learn this game, DrunkenDraconian just released a tutorial for this specific category actually a couple days ago. So you can check that out on this channel. And also, Redslash just released also a couple days ago a fully working practice ROM. So the practice ROM is amazing. You can basically warp into every room, just reload the right RNG with one button, reset rooms, reset fights. It's pretty well done. It's pretty amazing and makes this game way more fun to practice.
Oh yeah, one thing to note, by the way, we do have cursor memory on, which is, you know, whenever you are on tack, you will stay on tack, obviously. And what you saw Red do there while he was running away, he switched up to lightning for Chrono, so... did he actually confirm? I don't know. You have to confirm the spell in order to actually have it on the cursor memory, but it's very important. We'll make heavy use of that, obviously, to have ideal inputs, like the cursor memory. One thing that happens, though, is if you have it on a dual tech, and you learn new stuff, it will reset the cursor memory, so you have to pay attention to that. Well, not that that happens a lot in this run, but, you know, you just gotta be aware of it.
Is there a Chrono Trigger Discord? Yes, there is. There you go. Or you can just Redslash this one, Johnny. That's a way better one.
Yeah, use the second one.
Yeah, use the second one, please.
Alright, so DD got through Donodoro Mountains right there, doing his menu. He's not too far behind.
Yeah, he's not too far behind actually. Just a couple minutes.
Swan LSS attempt right there, and it's even.
Yep.
Okay, very special battle right here there on Redslash screen right now. These reptiles actually move, and he closed the text box too early. They move around the screen right there, pretty crazy. And depending on when you close the text box, they will move, no matter what RNG you are on, they will move in a certain way, depending on when you close it. When the second reptile crosses the screen to the right, you want to close the text box. He pressed it a bit early, so he will have to do an extra attack here in the first fight. But ideally, the second reptile will move up in a way where you can just use one slash, and then you can kill the other three with an antipode. Nice and easy. This actually also doesn't really matter if you miss it. Like, the RNG will still end up in a good place where you can continue without reloading, so it's just an extra attack that's going to be annoying, really. And it's only because Redslash, of course, gave you the Discord link, duh.
Yeah. Yeah, if anybody wants to learn, there's tutorials actually for every category. CK, Chrono Kirby has one for 100%, DrunkenDraconian for any percent. I have one for no LSS. You know, it's just a matter of getting started, and everybody's pretty helpful there. So just hop in and ask questions, basically. So we're gonna see Ayla now. Ayla's gonna be pretty important. We're gonna use her when we need to. She's pretty strong compared to our team.
Yep. So yeah, Ayla also starts on a pretty decent level, which is going to be nice. And additionally, for most characters, in order to make them more powerful, you have to give them good weapons. For Ayla, it doesn't matter because, like, you know, she has a fist, and her fists are pretty powerful as is. So you don't have to like go out of your way to get any fancy equipment or anything like that.
Yeah.
Very important. You do want to switch any robot right here. You do not want to dance.
Nope.
So yeah, that's actually another aspect about Chrono Trigger is that you have for the most part free reign of about who you have in your party, which is pretty great. Except for Chrono, obviously, because he's the main character, right? He's not going to die or anything. But the actual important part is, since you can switch in party members, you know, like almost freely, it also affects cutscenes, just like this one right here, where you are at the party here, and if you have Marl here, you have to unfortunately wait until she starts dancing to proceed with this cutscene. However, if you don't have her in your party, you can just talk to Robo twice really quickly. So you talk to him, wait a little bit, then talk to him again. You can already proceed, which is much faster than waiting for Marl to start dancing. So that's something to keep an eye on. Other cutscenes as well, like runners might switch in certain party members because they have a little bit shorter text boxes or anything like that. So that happens relatively frequently in a couple places. Most of the time, we of course will just set us up in a way where we can go, you know, just go fast for the battles that are coming up ahead, but sometimes you do switch in characters simply for those reasons.
Yep. So after a little bit of story, I'm gonna go into, well, take the way to Reptile Lair and fight Nisval, which is pretty much the easiest boss in the game. He's easier than some fights. I think the first fight of the game, the 3 Bloom fight, is actually harder than Nisval.
Yeah.
That's because we have the unequipped glitch.
Yeah.
So there's Kino, and by doing a fade out glitch, you can talk to Kino, let the fade out take you away, and bye bye Kino. Well, okay, Red failed it.
Rarely seen.
Again.
He's getting nervous.
He's feeling the pressure.
How long is a Chrono Cross speedrun? About 7 hours. I think record is like 640, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, a little bit under 7 is a very good time.
Yeah, if you join the Chrono Trigger Discord, just a small disclaimer, we are a Chrono Discord. Like, Chrono Cross is also featured, of course. If you are interested in Chrono Cross, you can also join. And they have their own channels and their own stuff on there as well, like resources and all that.
Yes, and if you're interested in Radical Dreamers soon we'll have the speedrun for that. So in Redslash screen, he gets to fight the Evil Weevils. Basically what you want to do there is you want to get hit for 34. That will basically make sure you're on the right RNG. And then you will slash both of them. So he's good to go.
Yep. Yeah, no. We're not 7 hours here. We don't have that kind of time.
Yeah. Yeah, the world record for any percent is 229 by Redslash. So we're not gonna get that close to it, but you know, 240 more or less, 230 something.
I mean, he didn't fail the race. I think in order to get world record in this game, you do have to fail the Johnny race at least one time. That's what I heard.
I heard that as well. So Red's gonna do a little bit of a mini menu here. He's gonna unequip Ayla, but only her armor. He's gonna leave her helmet. We want her to still have at least some physical defense. Gonna do the same for Frog in Magus Castle.
Yeah. The ruby vest is actually really, really important for Frog. Otherwise, he would be really weak.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really good that ruby vest is actually on Ayla there because it will be pretty hard to get an armor as good as that.
Yeah, I think you would have to fight a battle here. Like, you can trade in your paddle and things and all the stuff you get from the battles and then get a ruby vest that way, but I think you would have to fight an extra battle because you're missing one of those. I'm not too sure on that, though.
Yeah, that's true. It'll definitely take longer.
But yeah, of course, Berserker on Ada, because she's the most powerful character, and now, well, the good thing about Nisbel is, you know, you can decrease Nisbel's defense power, which is insanely high whenever you use lightning on him. And then after that, gradually, he will, you know, release the lightning he absorbed and hit you with a magical attack. But since we're unequipped, that's not going to do any damage at all. So, you know, you can just wail on him. As far as RNG manipulation goes, we're still on it. And that's actually pretty important because, as you can see, Ayla is critting a lot, which does a lot of damage. And yeah, that's pretty much the RNG manipulation part of this battle. You want to be on because you want those crits from Ayla. You can easily defeat this boss, no problem, if you're not on RNG manip. You just do the lightning stuff, and then, you know, you just input, and Ayla will eventually kill him. But we essentially guarantee us a 2-cycle by staying on RNG manip and getting all those crits.
Yeah. If you were wondering how optimized RNG manipulation is, you don't need to reload your RNG all the way from Denadora Mountains until Sunken Desert, so if you play perfectly throughout that whole time, that hour and a half, or whatever, you don't need to reload your RNG. So we're probably gonna see Redslash do it, but it's pretty nice. We used to have a lot of backup loads after each area, and then they all got tied together by the amazing people. So yeah, pretty easy for Red there, Nisbel. After Nisbel, you can get kind of a break. You basically have to backtrack a little bit and then watch some cutscenes before you go into Magus Castle, which is a pretty cool area of the game.
Pretty cool, hello.
One of the best.
Oh yeah.
In this category, I think it's the best. Well, I mean, in both any percent and any percent analysis, I think it's the best.
Yeah. My actual favorite area of the game is the Ocean Palace, but yeah.
Ocean Palace. I like Black Omen for 100%. Yeah, Magus Castle just has it everything. I think the flea fight's pretty nice.
Fights? Okay. The free coffee break.
Exactly.
Alright, so DD is about to enter Nisbel as well, so not too far behind. Kehanort, of course, because of his mishap, is a bit at the end here. He's still on Masa. That's about a 10-minute difference. Which, to be fair, it's not impossible for him to catch that up. Like, I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah. It's not impossible for him to win this race, let's put it that way.
So we need to backtrack now. Basically, we got the Dreamstone from Ayla. We need to repair the Masamune. So gotta talk here to Melchior. And we're gonna do a fatal glitch talking to Melchior. Redslash keeps missing it. He's feeling the pressure, man. He's feeling the pressure.
Oh my. Oh my. Red, come on.
There we go. Reload.
You know Redslash is nervous when he takes more fade outs than I do. Yeah. But yeah, you're not supposed to be moving around like this with all your party members in this cutscene. You're supposed to have either Luca or Robo help Melchior here, and the game still thinks that Robo is in our party, so it thinks that Robo is helping, but nobody's actually helping Melchior, so we get less text boxes. That's pretty nice.
So there's a nice menu glitch here. Red's right now gonna hold Start and B, and he's gonna open the menu as soon as the screen fades. And we're not gonna see the screen fading like from black a little bit onto it's fully bright. We're gonna see immediately go fully bright, and it saves a little bit over a second.
Yep.
So yeah, this is just a one-off race. That's what we mean between the top 3 runners of this category. Right now, Redslash in the lead, followed pretty closely by DrunkenDraconian. Kehanort fell a little bit behind because of a self-load he had. Well, he saved over a file he should have saved on. So he fell a little bit far behind. But as Magus said before, he can still come back. You just wait and see. Could happen. Not saying it will, but it could.
Yep. The dangers of speedrunning Chrono Trigger. Saving over save files you shouldn't have outsaved over.
Yeah. That's how I lost the tournament. When we did the tournament last year. And then Reds beat me. It happens to everybody. So Red's gonna go back now and talk to Frog. Then he's gonna enjoy nice 3.5 minute cutscene, followed by another 3-minute cutscene.
Oh,
which
yeah.
we cannot skip. And we cannot go to the bathroom or take a break. Because we need to actually skip text.
Yep. This is the one instance where I would say allow Turbo. Interestingly enough, Turbo would actually lose you time in this game. It's kind of wonky with the text meshing. You gotta be on point with your text meshing.
Yeah, that's true.
Kehanort is actually reloading his RNG for Mass Immune. He must have messed up something, but there's a safety backup that he's using right here to set up the RNG.
Yep.
He's going to get a little bit more experience, but that's not going to matter too much. Or did he? Oh. No. Huh, I wonder what went wrong there. Maybe he missed an input on the fight. I don't know.
Maybe somebody died because he was just getting fire punched there.
Yeah, but you're supposed to get fire punch on Masa, alright? On the first battle?
Oh yeah, that's true.
I
Yeah,
thought
so
so too, yeah, but...
I think he just reloaded, and the reload from the top, the reload on that save point requires you to do an extra battle before doing Massa, so I think that's just what he was doing, just setting it up.
Oh, so he loaded beforehand as well, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So Redslash is waiting on cutscenes, DrunkenDraconian did his own Melchior, and Kehanort is about to fight Massa.
Just got an in here, an IAC troll Masa happened. That is when so like we RNG manipulate everything, but like what Kehanort means when he says troll Masa happens. It depends, like sometimes the game, it doesn't always put you in the battle the same way, depending on how you enter a battle. Like on, battle triggers are not just like a very small like pixel thingy, they are pretty huge boxes. Yeah. And if you enter one differently, you will get positioned slightly differently, and what can happen in the Mass Immune fight here is that if you trigger the cutscene too far to the left, you get put into a different position with Chrono. And then the fight will troll you, and you can't win. Well, I mean, you can win every time, of course, but like you won't be on RNG manipulation correctly. That's what he means when he says troll Masa happens.
I'm wondering if he's using an old strat, because I think with the new Massa strat, you're actually taking that into account by watching actually during one of Massa's attacks. You watch your action bar, and then basically what I could. Good and bad ATB, what I call good and bad ATB. Depending on what happens, you basically have to delay an attack in order to avoid getting trolled. That was found by Otavino. Shoutouts to Otavino. He is one of the biggest influences in this route.
grandfather of RNG manipulation.
Yeah.
Does
Well,
that
you're,
mean
you're
I'm
doing a
old?
great job, Kehanort. Just pretty unfortunate with the soft lock there.
Yeah, he's pretty much showing off what happens to me all the time. It's a hard game to speedrun, and this is kind of what happens if you want to speedrun this game. It hates you, and then you fall back by 10 minutes. That's just how it goes.
Yep. And yes, we're racing the whole game. So you might think, whoa, we haven't talked about Redslash in a while. Is he done yet? No, he still has another 3-minute cutscene to go, so...
Don't worry, yeah, we still got... I mean, one of the best cutscenes in the game, but...
Oh yeah, agree.
Yeah. To be fair, it's a really nice break. It's like about the halfway point of this run and the no LSS run, so it's a pretty nice point to have a break in, but like you said, you have to mash through all of it, so you can't...
Yeah. So basically, okay, I wanted to talk about something here. Oh yeah, they were asking us earlier about the randomizer. This game has a randomizer. It was made by, I hope I pronounced his name right, Abyssinum.
Yeah.
And it's pretty great, not gonna lie. It's a lot of fun. DrunkenDraconian plays it a lot. I know Magus plays it. They've done a few races as well.
It's really good. Really good.
You should definitely check it out.
It's a cool way to play the whole game again if you like playing through Chrono Trigger. Just like, you know, load it up, and it's a lot of fun. Just that you do need a bit of basic knowledge about how like stats and all that work, but you know, it's very fun.
Yeah, for sure. And you can randomize everything. You know, you can randomize chest, starting stats. Stats, you know, you can get like some of the techs pretty early compared to others. How many tech points they take, how many tech points they cost, HP of the bosses, you know, everything. It's really fun. You can randomize absolutely everything in this game.
In the meantime, Frog just cutting him out in half, no big deal. No big deal, dude. Alright, so we are in the Magic Cave right now. Not much to it. However, there's a kind of a special thing. You are going to run away from the first fight here. And then there's another battle trigger coming up right here, which interestingly enough, Rock will now, because we haven't taught him magic, or taught him magic, he will talk to you here, but the enemies will still keep moving right now during those text boxes, and that will put them in a place where you can perfectly skip it. If you didn't have that text box, funnily enough, you would actually have to wait, which is kind of crazy, but yeah. That's kind of a funny tidbit right there.
Yeah. So, going into Magus Castle now.
Hope you like it.
It's pretty cozy.
I've put a lot of work into the decorations and all that.
So right now there's basically two things. The first things you do in Magus Castle is basically fight the two bosses, so Flea and Slash. We're gonna do Flea first, and then Slash. Slash is actually, I don't think he's a hard boss. He's a hard boss if you go off RNG. He's just pretty annoying on RNG.
Well, Slash is kind of special.
Yeah.
It's not hard, like you said, but I mean, I find it funny that Slash effectively has more health points than Magus has, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's really weird. The go mode point is when you get the green dream. So basically, after talking to the plant lady in Seal Palace, is where we backtrack, get the green dream, beat the game. It's still a little bit to go.
Okay, so Ozzy brags about the 100 monsters in this castle. Now who counted? Who counted? Huh? Huh? How many monsters are in here? It's actually 100. It's crazy. It's actually 100 on the dot.
Oh, really?
Yes, it's 100 enemies in this castle.
Counting the ones when you fall down?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Nice. I didn't know that. We only fight like 6 though, so... Oh, there's 6 right there.
Yeah.
Just kidding, we fight. We do 2 more fights that are not bosses.
Alright, so we do a little bit of equipment here. Most notably, Frog will have the Berserker. Frog's pretty powerful for this part of the game, with the Mass Immune equipped. And with the help of RNG manipulation and the Berserker, you can maximize his damage output because he will crit a bunch.
Now everybody, please send Redslash your good luck messages. Flea's a really hard boss. I think it's one of the hardest in the game.
Well, actually, Flea would be the hardest boss in the game, probably, but yeah.
I know. I think casually Flea's actually...
Yeah.
Because she has no real, weakness, and then all the status effects and everything is just pretty... The counters with Chrono, oh my god.
Yep.
That's there. Oh.
Yep. Hiding chat now. Alright, so again, still on RNG manipulation. Let's see. Hopefully Red doesn't miss his input. Oh, he missed his input. Oh no. Oh no. Wait, what? So yeah. This is kind of interesting. You're going to see Red's going to sit on his Chrono menu right here for... he switched to Robo. Okay. Frog, you keep doing your thing, bro. You got this. So what happens here? Frog and Flea are effectively the same speed. 11, I believe, right? Yeah, it's 11, I think. It might be 12, I'm not sure. However, yeah, you saw Flea attack at the start there. And then Frog immediately attack afterwards. Now, Frog and Flea's ATB line up perfectly here. And, yeah. Whenever Frog hits with the Berserker right now, it's actually also Flea's turn. Which, well, the game doesn't really like that. His controller stopped working, okay. So, yeah, Flea doesn't really get to have a turn because they both line up. And whenever Frog attacks, yeah, it just flat out skips Flea's turn. At some point during the fight at the end there, if you don't do anything, Flea would actually start attacking. Because, you get out of the loop that you set up with the RNG, but, yeah. That's why we finish it off with Chrono right there. Booyah.
Yeah, so that's how you make probably the hardest fight the easiest fight. That's actually pretty old. Like, I remember when I started running this game, there was no RNG manip for the whole route, but Flea manip was there.
Yes. We reloaded before Flea, and then got this manipulation. I don't know who found that, but this is older than I was running the game as well.
Yeah.
It's crazy, a crazy old manipulation. And the first thing that ever get implemented in this game, I believe it comes from the TAS, if I'm... not the most recent TAS, but like a TAS about 5 years ago at this point, I think. It's pretty crazy old.
Yeah, it would make sense. This game actually, when when Ottavino first introduced RNG manipulation into the game, basically the world record came down by 10 minutes, and he basically took most of it, well, most of the influence from Kilai's TAS back in 2014. So TAS is kind of important for this game.
Alright, so sadly Slash is not that simple. Slash will actually do stuff. Again, it's not an overly difficult battle as long as you pay attention. Usually you just input attacks whenever something's happening, so yeah, that's just going to work out splendidly. There's no real danger, again, as long as you pay attention. You can't really get off RNG here. But yeah, I mean, Slash does have 2 phases to him, and like I said, he effectively, with 2 phases, has more HP than Magus, which is kind of crazy. But yeah. Not too much to it. There used to be a very, very difficult strat for this fight, for the second phase, where you would have to input a almost frame-perfect mid-tonic, which sadly is slower than what we do right now. Very sad about that, but yeah.
Extremely sad. But yeah, this first phase pretty simple. The second phase a little bit, it's kind of the same, just have to, you know, since we know the RNG, we basically have the script. Basically a follow the script kind of thing. The fight's just so long that it's pretty easy to basically misread the script or just misinput 1 and then you're off RNG. Off RNG doesn't mean it's over. You can still beat the fight, you're just gonna lose a couple of seconds. And you have to be more careful with your healing and stuff.
Yep. The really difficult part about this fight is this once Slash gets into low HP, I think below 600-ish. He starts counterattacking with a very devastating attack. That does about, because we're unequipped. Slash is physically based. Like, he does the Slash attack, which is magical, but for the most part he attacks with physical attacks. And since we're unequipped on our characters, he'll almost one-shot us. So it's manipulated in a way where you will live with like low HP on every character. However, if you're off, you gotta pay attention that you don't get counterattacked in a bad spot.
You're gonna see exactly how much damage he deals physically in a little bit. He's gonna just attack Chrono in a bit. He deals a lot of physical damage, especially because Chrono has like no armor. But the magical attack, the slash attack, does like close to nothing, like 6, 7, 8. A little bit more on Frog because he only has 1 armor unequipped. But yeah, there we go. 183 on Chrono. So if you are off RNG and you're not careful, he's gonna die.
Yep, and that's also the big reason we have the Ruby Vest right here, because he will be on the left side at the end here and mostly target Frog. But Frog does have the Ruby Vest, so he does have some physical defense, fortunately. So he can take a hit or 2. Additionally, the Berserker also gives him, again, the defense boost as well. Like, the Berserk in this game not only pushes your attack, but also your defense, which is very handy. And yeah, DD is in the same battle as well right now. You can see the battles are getting a little bit longer. There's the counterattack. Alright, this better be the end of the fight. Alright, there we go.
There we go. Good job, Red. Good job. And you get the Slasher, which is actually gonna be a pretty good weapon for the following fights.
Yep. The best thing about the Slasher is that it gives you 2 speed.
Yeah.
Which is very handy.
And then gonna put that Hero Metal on Frog. Hero Metal gives Frog more critical. So the critical table is just a table between 1 and 255 basically. And then in each spot, like, somebody has crits, so depending on where you are is who's gonna get the crit. And you can see Frog usually has nice crits, but if you with a Hero Metal, it just basically just goes all over the place. He gets a lot of crits. And then Redder did an interesting technique. Right after he ran away, he used X Strike. So by using X Strike, he basically has Frog already set there. So we've been using that throughout the whole run. It's just something that's pretty easy to miss. Just makes for faster inputs during the next fights. So yeah, there's 4 fights here. Guess how many we're gonna run away from? 4. And then...
Oh, interesting. He triggered this battle from the back. Is that faster?
I think it might be because your Robo and Frog actually run to the back in this fight.
Yep.
So, oh, red, sneaky.
Oh, also color change for Aussie because like pellets were still loaded. Interesting.
Yeah. Interesting, red, interesting.
I wonder if that's actually faster or just like he did it for the pellet swap.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know. Might be faster. Oh, he didn't go for it. That's fine. Getting a fast guillotine room is really, really hard.
Yep.
And if you mess it up, you will get hit, and you will have to heal yourself before Magus.
Yeah. So ideally, if you're on manipulation, you use that shelter after slash, and you don't have to heal at all again. If you get hit or do a misinput at some point, well, you do have to heal. GG. The teeth, wow.
Red, wow.
Okay, so yeah, here on these outer sections of the castle, we can try to skip all of the battles very, very quickly. Like, these rollies are supposed to, oh, he got the fast one, nice.
Yeah.
These rollies are supposed to hold you up. If you just stand still, you can just get past the rollies, and if they are on corners, you have a small nudge of an yeah, you have like a small nudge where you can like basically just like if you hold up, you can like get past them that way. It's very well executed there. If you do get into a fight here, that's not too good. I think one fight might still actually be okay depending on what strats you use. You can still get back on RNG without reloading, but it's definitely not something you want to do. The big thing is that we do have to fight 2 battles here. I think the developers intended for you to fight all 3, but the second battle does actually have the no run flag, unlike the other 2. No, the second battle does not have the run flag, unlike the other 2, that way around. They just forgot to implement it in the second one. That's...
yeah.
Okay, now we got it sorted right. There we go. And yeah, we got the 4 juggler battle, which we are going to switch in Luca for. And use some extra goodness, probably. Again, there's a couple ways you can actually approach this. I believe X-Strike is the fastest at this point. My personal favorite is Laser Spin with Robo, but that's just me.
So we used to basically do we put Luca in and basically just attack with Frog and slash with Chrono. And then a little bit faster than that is putting Robo in and then using Laser Spin. And the advantage of that is that you actually keep Robo for Magus, so you don't need to change your team twice. But using Luca Fire and then the X-Strike is a little bit faster. Luca kills the enemies on 1 hit, so she's the only one that kills the jugglers in 1 hit.
Yep. Alrighty. And yeah, if you're a little bit off, you can still use those strats. If you're a little bit of RNG. The big good thing about this castle is there's going to be coming up an Aussie battle where you have to hit switches 4 times in a row. And the big thing is, because that's such a simplistic battle, there's not a lot of ways for the RNG to actually influence that battle. So effectively what will happen is, a lot of the time, if you're off RNG for a couple of battles, you will still manage to get back on it right here just by default, because this battle is so straightforward. I don't know how big exactly the window is, but it's relatively lenient, actually. So if you're lucky, you can still get back on good RNG for the Magus fight here, even though you made a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, you have like 6 different... The Aussie fight only has 6 different RNG outputs. So the window for the 119 is a little bit more lenient. And even if you hit a 118 on the last... So basically these levers, if you hit 119 at the end, it means you're on the right RNG. But also if you hit 118, there's a strat for that.
I think Aussie's pretty cool.
Oh my god. And then, so Red's going into Magus now. It's gonna make a safety save just in case. Magus not really the fight you will die on, to be honest. But
Okay.
if you don't, with this new strat, the inputs are kind of tight. However, if you don't finish him off fast, the only thing that happens is that you need to revive. I think it's Frog and Chrono that die. And Robo still stays alive.
I used to be such a difficult boss. Look what happened to me now.
Yeah, that Magus used to be make or break for the run. And then, yep. I'm sorry.
It's fine. I can still kill glitchless runs. It's okay.
Give me your best shot. And one of the best music tracks for this battle. So basically what Red's gonna do here, first you have to hit him with either Chrono or Robo for him to set a barrier. In this case we know it's gonna be Shadow. And once he sets Shadow, you have to hit him with Frog because Masamune lowers his defense. So if you don't hit him with Masamune, you're gonna deal around like 300-ish damage with Rocket Roll, compared to the 500 something you're gonna deal with his defense is down. So it basically reduces a couple more barriers that he can make.
Yeah. So essentially what's going to happen here is we're going to get, I believe, Shadow, Lightning as barriers because we're manipulated. Robo's lasers are Shadow Elemental, which is why this works. For those who didn't know that. I didn't know that that actually was a thing until I started speedrunning as well. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah, same. Yeah, Robo Frog is the standard team for Magus. It has been for a couple of years now.
Yeah.
DrunkenDraconian is actually gonna show off Luca with a different strat, so that's gonna be pretty cool to watch.
Yep. The main reason people don't use Luca usually is because for Luca to be actually really good in the Magus battle, you do need Chrono to learn Spin Cut, which at this point we don't have yet. So you would need to learn that in order to get Fire Sword, which is amazingly powerful on this battle if you force the fire barrier. However, fire is also very dangerous.
Yep.
Because that actually does damage to us. That's the main reason people usually don't use Luca. However, DD has other plans. He does, but the thing is, I played this game. I'm not native English, so I played this game the first time when I couldn't even speak English. So yeah, there you go. That's why I didn't know. No, he does say that is Shadow if you bring him. Alright, we are in phase 2 on Redslash screen already. So phase 1, he will use the barriers, you have to hit the barriers, and then, you know, you're done after four of them. And now it's basically just, you know, hit him until he dies. He will charge up for this Dark Matter attack, which is supposed to deal like 250 to 300 damage to you, but unequipped glitch, hooray.
Yep.
Cheaters.
Long live the unequipped glitch.
So if you play this game casually and you skip every battle and you don't glitch, well, you're going to die here. This is like the point where the game's like, nope, you have to actually fight enemies in this game.
Yeah. So I just got the stream up. I want to see what time Red gets, sorry. So around 1:48:57 Magus for Red. That's a pretty good time for a race, let's say.
Yeah,
it's very good. Usually Red, I think his world record has 1:46:30 something. That's just extremely good. Only two people have gotten those times, and it's Redslash and Chrono. 1:48 is extremely good.
We see the fire strats in action now. Now I'm really curious how this is going to work out. With the Berserker on Frog, no less. So, hooray. This looks not dangerous at all, Kappa.
Nope, that 1 HP Luca, not dangerous at all. Nice. It's pretty interesting, this fight.
Oh wow. He's forcing fires. Oh man.
Yeah.
All the way through.
And you can see how fire deals almost the same amount of damage as a rocket roll, which is a dual tech. They both deal around 500. Yeah, Magus doesn't get... Well, he doesn't get magic from Speakio, but he knows ice, he knows fire, he knows shadow, he knows lightning, so... There's no need. Sadly, this run if it would go get Magus, it would still be like an hour and a half away.
Ooh, I think DD made a mistake.
Oh, water?
Oh no. Yeah, he forgot to input lightning, I think.
That's fine, that's fine. He can just heal up, I guess. Okay, Lucas down. Just heal up, heal up. And pray he doesn't fire. Yeah, if you let Frog attack twice, he actually releases a barrier. So you cannot reduce his defense like infinitely. So Redslash is now getting up to Terminal Lair, so he's gonna do the longest fade out in the game here to skip a cutscene between Ayla and the chief. Oh, come on, water.
That's a big water loop right there, yeah.
Yeah, huge. Meanwhile, Reds are running away from a couple fights.
Notable action he took, he set Frog up on item. Remember that for later.
There we go, lightning. He still needs to wait for Frog to reduce his defense, so he's not gonna use lightning right now. There we go.
A glitchless run, a really good glitchless run, takes about 5 hours and 30 minutes, roughly.
That's 100%, right?
Yeah. Oh, if you mean any percent glitchless, then sorry, we don't run that because no.
It requires, I think, 18 or 28 fights in Terminal Lair or something like that.
I think the fastest way would actually, what I jokingly said earlier, grinding after you get Robo. I think that would be faster than...
Oh boy.
So, no.
Yeah.
Any percent glitchless is silly. Very silly. 100% makes sense because you can just complete the game, like, fully without having to grind or anything, like, extensively anyways.
Yeah. So we missed it, but Red got some pretty nice pixel perfect skips and Dactyl's Nest. Moving up to Tyrannular now. He's putting Luca in. Huh. Okay. Might be a little bit of a rare difference. Or I might not be keeping up with the any percent times.
It's hard to keep up in this game, to be fair.
Yeah.
They come out with new stuff. Like, it's only small things, but every 2-3 days you see like, oh, you could do this differently. And then suddenly the notes are completely different, and you're like, well, that's great.
Yeah.
Totally scripted, DD says, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't see any mistake. Excellent fight by DD. So right now Red wants to use Cyclone as he runs away from these fights. That way he can just mash Cyclone later on when he's gonna need it for a Volcano fight.
Yep. This is where the first diversion would happen if you would play the Legacy category, any percent no LSS. You would have to grind tech points with certain people. Here you don't really care. You just want to learn certain abilities in order to deal more damage to the next immediate boss. But in no LSS you would actually have to work towards haste for Marl.
Yeah, that's a big one. You would also put Marl in. No, wait, not anymore. Before you would have to put her in during Reptile Lair, but not anymore. She still needs to grind some extra battles, so.
Yep.
Like in Magus Castle, for example.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, that's a pretty big thing. Mostly the routes, any percent no LSS, 100%, they're all pretty similar up to Magus, so. If you learn up to Magus and one day you say, well, I just want to switch between any percent to no LSS, you got the first hour 50 down. Just gotta learn like maybe one different fight or two. After that, things start diverging though. So I think that's a nice thing. It can be kind of repetitive, sure, but I think it's a nice thing you can switch categories that easily if you wish. There's also our favorite racing category, Magus RTA, which basically it's a run up to Magus. So you're gonna see Red running in pretty weird patterns, but he's just skipping every single fight in Tyrannular, and trust us, there are hundreds of fights here. Okay, yeah, Red put on Marlin. Oh, he waits all the way here to do his menu. Interesting. This is a pretty big menu you have to do. You can do it anywhere. I usually do it right when I enter. Oh, he's trying to get the skip. So basically, in that Reptile Volcano fight, if you enter on the left side, and you mash A, I think it is, you can actually skip the fight and run into the room without having to fight it. I think Red was just trying to show it off because I think he still needs to learn Ice Sword, if I'm not mistaken, which takes 2 volcano fights. This is the other grinding we talked about at the beginning of the run. There's only 4 fights to grind in this route.
Changed his mind.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Luca BT. I think there's a newer strat for Luca BT, but we used to do Luca BT until Chrono Kirby. Basically changed things up. And Magus Black Tyranno. Marl Black Tyranno is actually faster.
Could you imagine a Magus Black Tyranno? That'd be nice.
Oh, that would be cool. I mean, reminder that you could do that if you wanted to. Just gotta do the back in time glitch. There's this glitch in Factory where you can basically reload the state. So basically, right before our series, you can do 14 save anywheres, kind of frame perfect, and then you would basically skip a trigger, and then you can play the game and beat it normally. And then once you return to the factory and activate that trigger, your story resets to the factory point, so you can have Magus for like our series and stuff, and you'll see weird things happen. It's pretty fun.
Yep, it's used for all endings.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're interested in all endings, I think Redslash time is like 6 hours something, which is extremely good for the old 13 endings.
Yeah.
Well, 758, I'm sorry. Still extremely good.
Yeah.
This fight's Black Tyranno fight is kind of tricky. You have to input, as we've been talking, your attacks during animations. But in some cases, the A-list attacks animations are kind of quick. So you have to really hurry to input either your heals or attacks, whatever you need to do.
Sometimes, if you are too slow, the RNG will slightly change, and most notably the ATB. Berserker attacks, if you don't input your commands fast enough in some cases, that even goes like you have to be faster sometimes than the damage numbers even. Like, you can't even wait for the damage numbers to appear. It will change it slightly and you'll get a different outcome. So you gotta be on point with your inputs still.
Yeah, if you're a little bit too slow, basically what happens is, if I'm not mistaken, Ayla gets an attack off while Salah still has defense, so it deals really low damage. And you're gonna be really short on damage for killing him.
Yep.
There's still a backup and a way to get him, but it's just it's not worth.
One thing you can do, funnily enough, with this, what we use on the Lavos shell and no LSS, is you can provoke or Hypno Wave Azala and just wait it out until the Black Tyranno drops his defense. But that takes very, very long. We have very limited damage output at this point, so we want to force the remove defense by killing Azala.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what that pause was about, but I don't like it.
I think he was just checking his notes. I think. Yeah, Asada's a bad guy, but not that kind of guy to toss them off the bridge. I don't know. That would be a pretty good idea for him to do.
Her,
sorry. Yeah, that's true. That's true. My bad. Wait, so when is he using the Meat-Eater on Chrono? Did he skip that? Or is that later? No, I think it's later, okay.
Yeah. This fight takes, by the way, 6 minutes and 20 seconds if you do it ideal. Which is a long time.
It's a long fight.
Yeah. Again, we haven't leveled at all at this point, like just like the boss experience basically and the volcano fight we just saw. So we're a bit under-leveled. Just a tiny little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. And Black Tyranno has 10,500 hit points.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's quite a bit. And when you fight the shell, and not in this category, but in no LSS, you fight the shell, you have Falcon Hit. So Falcon Hit just deals a lot of damage. But right now, no Falcon Hit. So yeah. Chrono only takes very little damage because we gave him Ruby Best now. So Ruby Best reduces the fire attack by 50% if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So he still took 171, but if he didn't have Ruby Best, he would take 300 something, so he would basically die.
You do have to take one barbecue. That's like,
Yeah.
you can't get around that, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Meanwhile, DD's doing his leveling for Luca to learn Fire Sword. No, Flame Kick. DD is gonna use a little bit different. He's gonna use Spin Cut with Chrono and Flame Kick with Luca and Ayla. If I'm not mistaken. Kehanort going through Magus Castle.
Oh, looks like DD is going to use Fire Sword. Put the Berserker on Ayla.
Oh, interesting. Nice.
So what we used to do for Black Tyranno is we would fight this on battle speed 2, which is not even that much slower to be fair. Without a Berserker on Ayla, we used to use Fire Sword and Flame Kick combinations.
Yeah.
Just, you know, however the ATB lined up. That will get the job done if you do it properly. It's just a little bit slower than like doing this all manipulated with like the Berserker and the Ice Sword / Fire Sword strats. But yeah, trying to fight this on battle speed 1 without manipulation is very difficult.
Okay, so Redslash should be killing with this Ice Sword. If not, then GG will play it. It's over. Good job, Red. Good job.
Alright, so Redslash is done. We'll have a little bit of story time going on while DD is entering the Black Tyranno battle, so the difference is about 6 minutes right now, roughly?
Yeah.
Give or take.
More or less. So they're asking how did the Nisvel skip work. Basically, you enter a loading zone, and then the loading zone takes a long time to activate. With the menu, you buffer it a few times. So you carry your loading zone until you trigger the fight. Then the loading zone just takes you away. And then once you enter the room again, because the game thinks, oh, I mean, you already triggered the fight, and you must have beat him once you enter the room again. So he just disappears. It's called a fatal glitch.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice because Nisvel 2 would be a very hard boss at this level.
Nisvel 2 is actually probably harder than Black Tyranno.
Yeah. I think you would have to grind for Bolt Bite, and even then you'd have to pray. You have to pray.
It's
a pretty
tough.
hard boss.
Really tough, yeah.
So right now, Red, what he has to do is he has to continue the story all the way to Seal, because basically we need to get the Green Dream. That's what we need to beat the game, the Green Dream. So Red needs to go all the way to Seal, talk to the plant lady there, which triggers the Green Dream side quest, which is the Sunken Desert, and then head all the way down and go to Sunken Desert. So normally, here's where the big divergence would be between all the other routes and any percent. The other routes would actually fight the golem, just die to the golem and then continue with the route. Any percent can actually just open the side quest and go down walking, which is actually faster. Because they don't need dependent. Any percent doesn't need to get dependent for more items. They don't need dependent for anything else. Just trigger the side quest, run out. Meanwhile, 100% and any percent. Any percent OLSS, sorry, need to get dependent. Any percent OLSS needs to get the swallow. And 100% needs dependent for opening a lot of things. Exactly, this is how the dinosaurs died off. Don't let National Geographic or Discovery Channel tell you different. Kehanort entering Magus. He's gonna do the standard Magus fight, Chrono Frog Robo. during my the last time I did 100% was in 2015, and I forgot to talk to the plant lady.
Oh
And
dear.
once you have to go back and talk to her, but you know how you can't get back to the Seal Kingdom. So it took me like 10 minutes to figure out that they actually get placed in a little island. So you can still open the side quest. Just that for a category like any percent or any percent OLSS, it would be RIP. Because there's no way to get back to. You don't have the epoch to get to those islands, basically. Gotta talk to that plant lady. And you gotta tell him not to burn the plant. I mean, it's pretty common. I think I've done it a few times. You're just mashing, not even thinking, talking to chat or whatever, and then you accidentally burn the plant. And then you get to some contester and there's no desert. And well, that's your run. Okay, so Red's talking to. Okay, he's gonna talk to Shala first, and then he's gonna talk to the plant lady after. There was interested of making not a Chrono Trigger random tourney, but a Magus RTA tournament number 2 earlier this year, but we didn't get enough support. Only like 8 people signed up.
Shame.
Yeah, I know I didn't sign up. I suck. We should definitely try and get more interest.
It's an intimidating speedrun, that's for sure. But it's also a lot of fun.
Yep. Our first tournament had 24 entries. Like 8 of them dropped out, but it was still a lot of fun. This is a fun speedrun. I think there's it's a hard speedrun, yes, but I think people overrate. Like they think it's harder than it actually is. That's just my point of view. Because I hear people like RNG manipulations, that's impossible, blah blah, but
yeah, I mean, you do have to bring in a certain amount of practice for sure. Like, you do need to actually practice the stuff. Otherwise,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you can't just like load up the game, read notes, and that's it. You know, that's not how it works. But yeah, it's not as difficult as it looks.
I always said I think it's pretty easy to get a good time. But if you wanna get to Redslash level, that's where it starts. That's where it starts to get difficult.
Yeah.
Like for example, in OLSS, I think 3 hours is kind of pretty easy to get nowadays. Now, if you want to get to a 248 like Redslash, well, you gotta put hundreds of hours in.
For sure.
At least a couple hundred. Yeah, you might think, whoa, why is Redslash going all the way back? Is this actually faster? Yes, it is. If not, you would have to fight the golem, lose to the golem, and wait for you to get taken back. This is actually way faster.
Yeah, the most important thing is you keep the gate here.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing about the strat, actually. Otherwise, you would have to unlock, actually, the gate again, which... that takes quite a while, actually.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, you need the gate, because you need that gate to be there during LSS. And pretty important right now. Frog needs to get magic for Sunken Desert. Frog deals way more damage than Marl, and you don't really need Marl to learn anything like in other categories, so you can just put Frog instead and have your hard-hitting enemies in.
Yep.
Yo, Watavino in the chat, what's up, dude? Magic. So the last bird skip for red. Oh my god. Sorry. I think I jinxed it.
Dun, dun, dun.
I think. Wait, no. This is kind of interesting. I don't know how the RNG works for any percent, but in any percent no LSS, if you miss bird skip, you actually don't have to reload. But it's actually slower to miss bird skip than to reload. I don't know if it's the same RNG you use for any percent. If that's the case, then even though he missed that bird skip, he can still continue normally. Commentator's curse.
Well, let's see what he does.
Yeah.
Double checking everything.
Battle speed 2. No battle speed 2?
Uh-oh.
Maybe any percent is different. This is where my knowledge starts. My Sunken Desert any percent knowledge is really big.
I mean...
Well, you only have to do the boss. You don't have to do this.
Yeah. But... Still.
Yeah.
Red Knight is pretty difficult. Because Red Knight is also pretty fast.
Yeah, he definitely is. And especially in this category where the fight drags on quite a bit. A little bit longer than normal. Not by normal, I mean. 20% analysis.
See, this is actually an optional area of the game that, again, Jerry mentioned by talking to the plant lady, unlock it, and it will give us the green dream. Unfortunately, we do need to fight the skeleton. And the way Red Knight here works is that we're in a sand area, so what's good against sands? Of course, water. Water hardens sand, right? That's what the game says. But yeah, you have to hit the parts one time with an ice or water attack, and then it will actually have normal defense instead of like you dealing 0 damage to it.
Yeah. What's pretty interesting as well is that this fight drags out for so long that the core actually gets destroyed because of the heals for Red Knight, so you actually have to heal it by using lightning on it.
One of the quirks of this battle is that it has this core, and if the core dies, well,
it's over.
First of all, you're gonna have a party with Red Knight. Second of all, whenever you attack Red Knight when the core is not there, or a part of him, he regains some of his defense, so you have to redo the water attack things, and for now, the defense will stay low as long as the core is there, but yeah, if the core is gone, every time you attack, he regains some of the defense, and you have to redo the water spell, which is really, really annoying. Additionally, if the core is not there, Red Knight suddenly gains a little bit of speed and gets more powerful attacks that will eventually wipe you, probably.
Yeah, so you wanna focus all your attacks on the legs, then the head.
Yep, and the big reason we taught Frog magic, we could use Marl, but again, Frog is just a little bit more powerful, as you can see.
Yeah, I think a Marl attack will deal like 60 damage or something compared to 200 something.
Yeah, I mean, 60 damage, if that, I don't know, might even be less.
Okay. I think Red should be killing the... He will be killing the bottom part soon, but I think he also will be healing the core pretty soon. Ah. I struggle with words, they're hard. What? DrunkenDraconian selected to fight with Specchio.
Oh man.
That can happen if you try to mash.
He got the first Specchio skip, but the second one got him. Dang.
The real final boss.
Yeah, so how that happens, by the way, is like when you're just mindlessly mashing, whenever you learn magic, the first text box after you learned the magic is Specchio just talking a little bit and then actually giving you a yes or no answer whether you want to test out your magic immediately in that text box. So it's kind of deceptive that way. If you pay attention, you obviously will never trigger it, but if you're just kind of like, you know, mashing a little bit, then oh no, we start the fight. Dang.
Yeah. Oh, he beat Specchio. Nice.
He just wanted Sword Stream.
Maybe we'll see him use it.
Check out the strats, dude.
Yo, X-Strike, nice. Should be close to over.
Yeah, red should be at the end of the fight here, relatively soon.
In this category, it doesn't matter if the core runs away, because you don't really need the XP or the TP compared to other categories.
Hey, I'm not the only one making bad puns.
There we go. Yeah, he's just gonna let it run away.
Yeah, you don't need the experience, so might as well.
So right now, what Redslash wants to do is, he wants to, if I'm not mistaken, get the Green Dream. After getting the Green Dream, he's going to go and get an elixir and take one of the gates in the forest. Back to end of time, so we can do Lavos Shell Skip, which is this pretty hard glitch. That's all I can say. It's a really hard glitch.
It's a really difficult trick slash glitch, yeah.
So basically, as the name says it, you can skip the Lavos shell and basically go all the way to the Lavos and Lavos core fights. There's this glitch that we're gonna talk about it in a little bit. However, the thing that has put off a lot of runners from this category is that it used to be nearly impossible to get it, and by nearly impossible it means that you could actually replicate your inputs and actually miss it. So the setup has been improving over the years, from when Jackafer first got it in English. I think it was like early 2015 if I'm not mistaken, or mid 2015, to right now. The setup has gotten way better, but right now it's actually kind of a 50-50 if you get it or not. If you do perfect inputs, it still requires a couple frame perfect inputs, frame perfect mashing and stuff. But compared to before, where runners would actually spend maybe like 40 minutes in it to get it once, most runners, this 3, because they are the 3 active ones, I think the only 3 active ones nowadays, that they can probably get it consistently within 10 minutes. Hopefully I just didn't jinx everybody right here.
Thanks.
I don't know if macro replicate your inputs would make you fail, but there's something called mystery factor. Basically, during one of the sips, when the portal starts taking you away, some of your characters will start following you, and you don't want that. So there's still that mystery factor that is still a mystery factor for a reason. So as I said, that the glitch is better nowadays. It still has that little thing to solve for it to be like, okay, this is easy now. But yeah, I really encourage more people to learn this category. As I said earlier, DrunkenDraconian just released a tutorial for 90%, or he actually goes over everything, including LSS. So it's a pretty complete tutorial. So if you really want to learn the game, you should check it out on his channel, the same as his name on screen. Or you can just check the Chrono page, which is chrono.wiki.com.
All your Chrono needs will be satisfied there.
Yep. And if you also want to use patreon.com, it links to chrono.wiki.com. Quick, what's the password for red?
Oh boy. Oh, he got it. He got it. He got it. It's all good.
Nice. Saved.
It doesn't actually matter if you get it or not. It's
Yep.
just faster to actually get it.
The first time I did a run of this, I actually failed it because I switched my controls, but the game doesn't take the input for your Switch controls. It takes the inputs for the original SNES controller controls.
Yep.
So if this is your first time and you're wondering why is it not working, well, you need to input the original A on the original A and L on R for sure.
Yep. And for our efforts, we do get the green dream.
It's time to beat the game.
Yep. This is it.
He still needs to take a little bit of a detour to get the last elixir. We do need 2 elixirs because there's still another glitch after LSS called elixir glitch, which we need to perform in order to beat the game at this low level. So just a little bit of a cutscene to go here.
Yep. The
No way
game
of
intends you to not get elixirs until after the Ocean Palace, but yeah, you can access these areas that we are just visited, like the Sunken Desert and the castle early.
Yeah.
And they both hold 1 elixir, which we need.
There's also 1 elixir in reptile there, but it's pretty weird or not consistent to get one of the evil weevils to dig in the right spot.
Good luck with that.
yeah, that's why I mentioned it. It has been tried. So DrunkenDraconian just beat Retinite. He's getting close.
Yep, not too far behind.
I don't know.
How do I know every speedrun from every game ever? I don't know.
Redslash is gonna go east here in order to take this portal back. And he's gonna make a save, and we're gonna see Lavos shell skip. So what we're gonna see, it takes kind of a long setup in order to get it. But basically what he's gonna try to do is he's gonna try to get this breakout, I think it's called, or just a desync between his team basically.
Breakaway, yeah.
Breakaway, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so he's gonna reload for RNG. Yes,
he has
RNG
the text box.
Still important. But yeah, what he's doing here, like he mentioned, breakaway. Whenever you open the menu when the text box is active, the characters get confused and slowly start to break away from you. That is actually important for the setup. Okay, now he's gonna check, looks good. And now he's gonna activate 2 gates here. Get in position. And this is the tricky part. He needs to hit a certain frame here.
Okay. So you can see how he got sent to the left. That's what you actually want to get, but you don't want Luca or Marl to follow you. You want him to stand still.
Exactly.
So, it's kind of confusing. He needs to redo this setup for the breakaway. You're gonna see they're gonna be standing like Marl's on the right and Lucas on the left. The game's confused. Marl's out of bounds. You need to trigger 2 portals there, and then go into the very specific position.
Yep. Alright. He's aligning himself with the bucket. There we go.
Okay.
Now he does need to hit, just like the safe anywhere for the Zombor skip, he does need to hit a certain frame here in order to actually be able to open his menu still. You'll see why when he gets it.
Yeah.
Because it's still a 50-50 basically, whether, well, I mean, he's kind of pause buffering to actually hit the right frame, but it's still a 50-50 basically, whether you get like the locked out of the menu or not. If you hit the wrong frame, you get locked out and you can't open the menu, can't switch your characters and everything.
Yeah. So, as you can see, each setup takes like 30-something seconds, so...
This is where DT catches up.
Yeah. He's getting the same outcome every time, where Luke and Marl are both running with him.
He keeps missing the frames on like the game draws out the letters. I think a frame at a time.
Yeah.
So you can actually basically tell when you pause on a certain frame what window you're going to hit. So he's going to try to hit a very specific one. But that being said, it's still hard to hit pause buffer that because like you can just miss like the good frames. You just can't just like keep missing it. This part must be a nightmare for Honor's Train. Yes, it is.
Oh, there we go. There we go. So he has to basically open the menu of specific parts. He wants to get a little bit in. So in defense, basically that's it. Like he wants to run to the top left corner. And he wants to get this frame perfect mash into position. So that he gets taken out on a certain pixel, and that pixel is gonna be inside Lavos. I don't think that was it. I think he didn't pause the menu, or
I have no idea where that is, so we'll just see. No clue. I'm not an 80% runner.
Yo, he got it. Okay.
Magic.
Like that. Nice.
So yeah, like Jerry said, by buffering the menus there and putting yourself in a certain position, you'll be warped to inside up there, and then it will put you inside Lavos. That's the lava shell skip. Cheers all.
Okay, so Red just skipped Lavos shell, so he just skipped around 18 minutes of the run. Damn, his pause buffers weren't that good, but he managed still to bring it together. It's a pretty hard skip.
So but now we're gonna die anyways, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He has the berserker on.
Saved.
Yeah, he did. That would have been funny.
Yeah. Having to redo Ulysses. I've seen it happen.
Yeah. Usually in a PB attempt, you wouldn't save there. You would just go for it. So if you forgot to equip the Green Dream in a PB attempt, you would have had to redo LSS. Which, yeah, that's great.
So yeah, now we need to do the elixir glitch, which basically we need to use an elixir on an enemy. That's usually not possible to do, but when Frog gets killed and revived with the Green Dream, basically it causes sort of positioning glitch that lets Frog actually target enemies with items. And if the enemy has over 16,000 health, and you use an elixir on them, you can overflow them and destroy them. Oh, Red using the swag strats. Using the elixir and then going to the tech menu and doing shenanigans, which I don't understand, but...
yeah, it somehow, if you go into item and then on tech, the tech menu still is the item menu, basically. More or less. So you can still throw the elixir via the tech menu. You can do also funky glitches with like the tech menu. The problem is that if you're in the tech menu here, your ATB will keep running. It's not actually on wait because I don't know. It's fancy shenanigans with the Green Dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, since both this Lavos and the Lavos core that we're about to fight have more than 16,000 HP, the elixir is an item that fully heals your characters. Like it will heal max HP and max MP, which this game has a maximum of 32k HP. So if the enemies have a little more than 16k, it will actually flow back, like Jerry said. Like it will overflow the HP amount if you heal it, and then effectively just kill it off.
Yeah. Here you have to basically just wait a little bit in order for Frog to get killed.
Yeah.
It actually have to be in a certain RNG, so basically you can have little interaction bar left to use the elixir because you know you're gonna get hit again and killed. And that's time for Redslash. GG.
GG.
So that's a 232 202? No, 234. Okay. That's very good.
234.35 on SRL. GG to Redslash.
DD is on LSS, so he's using pause buffering to set his position. DD got the sip. Oh boy.
Come on, Chrono.
Gotta get that mashing. I don't know if he saved it. I think he did save it.
That was really close though. We'll see.
Yeah. Nailed it. Nice.
Perfect.
Good job, DD. I really like the descending that you get with this, with LSS. You can see it on Redslash's side.
I forgot about that ending, yeah.
DD up to Lavos. And Kehanort's running back to get the Green Dream. I mean, to fight Sunken Desert.
Yep. DD had a noticeably better LSS than Redslash had, so very well done on that on his part.
Yeah. Let's see how he does with the Elixir Glitch. As you can see, you take over 2k damage from Lavos. At this level, there's no way.
Yeah. So, a true any percent glitchless run, you would either, what we said earlier, you would grind half an hour in Tyranno Lair, and then get the Green Dream and beat this guy. Or what you could do is you could try to learn Lifeline, and with Robo, Marlin, Chrono, and use that instead. Because, like, this guy will eventually kill you even if you do level up, like, crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean 100% if you're not careful.
Yep.
You'll get
Can
destroyed.
still kill you. Yep.
Well, I mean 100% glitches is what I meant. Because 100% also uses elixir glitches. So let's see. This is the first one you can. So the first elixir glitch is kind of easy. You don't really need to be on the right RNG. The second one though is kind of precise.
Yep. Because you have 3 enemies that you have to face. They have to attack or do very specific actions for you actually to be able to trigger it anyways. Frog has to be killed off at a reasonably close window here at the end as well, so he doesn't get just like
There we go.
killed the second time, and that's
GG.
time. GG.
In Chrono Trigger, we actually time from time once, like when you do the input, not when the bit dies, because the bit sometimes dies immediately. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer to die. We don't really know why. So basically, the timing stops the second you input.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, the frame you input, whatever. So,
Yep.
yeah.
Frame of the last input, basically. Which most of the runs are retimed after they are done, pretty much because of that. Because you can't hit the split very accurately when you're trying to do such a precise trick.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah. Yeah, and DD finished with an official time of 2:38.44.
Oh, that's very good. That's 3 minutes from his PB.
Yeah.
That was very good, actually.
Yeah. So now Kehanort, the only one left, and he's currently on Retinite, so he's about 15 minutes from finishing.
Yeah.
Roughly. I'm not sure how the schedule's looking, and he told us, so whenever Speed Gaming needs to move on, we can, but we'll just keep our eyes on Kehanort for now.
Yeah, doing the fight, the hard fight. Just goes on for so long, and if you're not careful and that core dies, as we mentioned, yeah. I don't wish that on anybody. I've been there. Don't wish it on anybody.
Is this even randomized? Not really. I don't know if the runners want to join the chat and talk about the runs. They can, maybe, if they want
I mean,
to.
we're on the Chrono Speedruns Discord, so
Yeah.
if TT or Red wanted to join, you can just jump in, guys.
Yep.
There we go, TT. What's up?
How's it going?
Hey there.
Hey,
I
man.
was listening while the run was happening. Great commentary, guys.
Thanks. Great run, man.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to win that Magus fight, but
Yeah, I got kind of scared there because you already took so much damage from fire, and then you just didn't input the lightning fast enough or something, and then I just saw the water, and I was like, oh dear, if he hits fire now, it's over.
yeah, there's 3 unbuffered inputs, and they all kind of have the same time bank. So if you are slow on one, you're behind for the rest, and I was slow on the first one.
Ah, okay.
I just didn't quite get it on the third.
I see. Damn. Other than that, I think your run was pretty solid, dude. You were pretty close to your PB, actually.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Still a lot of work to be done. There's a lot of newer strats that I still need to adopt. I heard you saying that like strats change all the time, and they do.
Yeah.
But I kind of stick with what I know and what's consistent.
Yeah, I agree there. Gotta implement them little by little. You cannot just dump all the new strats because it's gonna be a mess.
So what ending did Redslash get? I don't remember that ending.
Why did he get that ending, though?
He advanced plot and zeal.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's true. Damn right. Yeah, it's where Marla and Luca talk about all the enemies and give them funny names and stuff. And then Chrono speaks there. And I think that's the only ending in the one he speaks in, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, this is the only text boxes Chrono has ever. Does that make the run not legit though? Because Chrono is not supposed to talk.
Ooh, Red. I think you're the cute man. Congratulations, DD.
But yeah, funny thing about these ending things, like we're just kind of funnily talking, you can get a bunch of endings in this game, obviously. For this category, it was kind of a thing to actually pay attention to what ending you got, because we mentioned earlier, we used to use the Japanese version for this, and Japanese timing, as you might know, usually goes from power on to the end. And it actually kind of mattered what kind of ending you got, because they have obviously different lengths. But yeah, now that we have adapted the English version and all that, and the Japanese community is not active anyways, it doesn't really matter that much anymore. So yeah, but it's a kind of interesting thing.
Japanese essentially runs glitchless.
Yep. If that, I think there is one very active Japanese glitchless runner, and that's about it.
Yep. So Kehanort just beat Sunken Desert. He's just gonna get Green Dream and give a shot at LSS, basically.
Yep.
Let's go, Kehanort. But yeah, again, if anybody is interested in speedrunning this game, you can just relink the Discord and DrunkenDraconian, as we said during the run, he just put in a new 90% tutorial that you might want to check out.
Yeah, a bit of a preface to that tutorial. It is very noob friendly. Like, it's not really going to go into a lot of advanced strats or a lot of battle manipulation. This is just how to get from the start to the end. If you've never even really picked up the game or only played it casually, you should be able to make it through doing LSS with the guide.
Yeah, I think that's pretty nice. That's what this category needed, in my opinion. A good LSS tutorial.
Yeah,
Try and
I
get people a
agree
little bit
too.
less intimidated, basically.
Yeah, before it was very intimidating, pretty much rolling the dice after 2.5 hours. But since Redslash realized that you can unpause and make an input on the same frame, and it counts as making an input on the frame you pause, so you can actually like buffer to the exact right frame, and that really opened it up.
So the way timing works for all endings is you actually have to watch all the endings and then reset. So yeah, if you want to check it out, you can just go speedrun.com. Redslash has his world record, 7 hours 58 minutes with all the endings. Definitely a good watch.
It's a run, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, all endings is pretty crazy. With the same glitch, you can get a Magus versus Magus fight, which is always kind of fun.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend that back in time glitch if you've never seen it. It's really, really cool. But yeah, I said I was gonna post it and I forgot. There we go. Basically, that's the Chrono speedruns Discord, so both Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross.
Yep. If you join right now, you can see us in voice chat.
Yay.
It's pretty great.
All endings does use New Game Plus for some endings. I think only, a couple endings actually.
I would assume the first ones, right? I'm not
Yeah.
100% on that, but yeah.
Yeah, the one where you have Chrono and Marl basically only. That's a hard one to get from a new
Yeah.
file.
Yeah, and maybe the frog ending as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, true. But yeah, with the back in time glitch, you used to basically just beat the game normally, and then you would like create saves on a New Game Plus file, and then just unlock endings from there. But with the back in time glitch, you can actually do it all in the same file. So,
Yep.
New Game Plus actually cut less endings now.
They cut off about 5 hours of the game, roughly. Or 4? I think 13 hours was the previous record. I'm not 100% on that, though.
Yeah, just a little bit of time, right?
Just a tad, yeah.
So yeah, but definitely you should follow these 3 runners. They're all very good. Redslash, Kehanort, DrunkenDraconian. Definitely just toss all of them a follow.
Yep. And they do frequently stream this game, so there you go.
Yeah.
For years now, at that.
Yeah, that's true.
It has been quite some time now. I still remember being super noob, doing 100% and getting wrecked by Zeal. Not much has changed, really.
I remember your streams, man. You were doing all bosses 100% back in the day.
Oh yeah, Battle Speed 1
Yeah.
active. Let's go.
Oh.
Good times, good times. So Kehanort is getting his last elixir, and then
He's gonna
he'll
go
be
right
ready.
into LSS.
He'll be ready to finish the game as well.
Yeah, Red has been taking a little bit of a break, but he had a period where he was streaming almost daily like a couple months ago.
Mm-hmm.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah,
Just gotta
Redslash
follow
is
them.
also in the Pacific time zone, so yeah, he's going to stream late for most people,
Oh
if
yes.
at all. Like, I have no chance to ever catch Redslash streams, unfortunately. Bible Thump.
Yeah, that sucks. Okay, so Kehanort's about to start triangles. He's gonna get his portal from the forest, go into the end of time, and start going for it.
First try, easy every time. Right?
Absolutely. I was just expecting first try.
There we go. So for the first try, do you usually reset or do you just go for it? Because I saw Redslash actually reset before trying it.
You can go for it, but you need to reset for your RNG
Of
for
course,
the
yeah.
Lavos fight anyway, so you might as well do it and hope you can get it in one.
Yeah, okay.
I knew that my load wasn't right, so I had to reset before Lavos after I did end up hitting the skip.
Counter, here he goes. Nope, he sipped up. So I'm really bad at this. What did you do wrong when you get the sip upwards? Did you miss like the frame on the first Xbox?
Yeah, if you get an up zip, either your unpause wasn't exactly right, because it's kind of hard to unpause and hit A on the exact same frame, which is what you need to do to do the trick. And it's kind of a factor of, hitting two buttons on the same frame's not that easy, but the start button on a SNES controller is kind of mushy.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of gets in your way too. So I don't know. The way I do it is I actually like tense both of my arms at the exact same time and hope that like it's the exact right frame.
Nice. So let's see if oh, there he goes. He's flying, man. He's flying. Okay, he's running to the corner. I don't know.
Oh.
I can't tell like DD can when he says got it or not. That was like he didn't really pause at the end, but he did get the last pause.
Yeah, I think he's good.
No,
Off by a little
he
bit.
missed it.
Oh, he was too high actually.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah,
So
you're trying really hard to get in that window. Generally, if you're too high, your position in the lower left corner wasn't quite right, but there is like a small window where you can open up your menu too late.
Bad breakaway. He's got to start over. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the breakaway is probably the least consistent. Well, it definitely is the least consistent part of the Lavos shell skip. But really, it doesn't matter too much as long as player 3 is far enough away that you can like close the text box on the same frame that the player groups up with Chrono.
okay.
That looked perfect, yeah. Let's hope he gets the buffer.
Okay. No. Okay, he's sipping. Nope. If Luca follows you there, that means what does that mean, Didi? I don't really remember if one of your characters follows you.
If Luca follows you, your unpause frame was probably incorrect, or it could just be mystery factor, the 50-50 chance of the breakaway not being good. Because yeah, as long as you do the proper inputs, then the trick should be like maybe slightly better than 50-50.
Mhm.
But it's, I don't know, the 50-50 can still be pretty rough sometimes. Because, I mean, you can flip a coin and call heads and it'll be tails 20 times in a row. Even though it's technically 50-50, you can still get bad luck runs.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good sip. Got a good frame there. Running into the corner. I think he might be too high again. I think it might be fine though.
Was close. Was close.
Let's see. Yeah, this is Lavos shell skip. You're gonna see how he's gonna go into a shell, but inside of it already. There we go.
Yeah, that's looking good.
Nice.
Great job, Kehanort. Now he only has to do the elixir glitches.
Yep. Hopefully he safety saves.
Yeah, no, of course. That was great.
Alrighty.
A Link to the Past will start right after this. Kehanort's about to finish like 2 minutes. So yeah, Kehanort just needs to overflow Lavos HP now with his shiny elixir he picked up. So overall, those were pretty good shell skips, to be honest.
Yep. We had 4th try for red, I want to say.
Yeah.
And that was also 4th try, if I'm not mistaken. So that's pretty good. And DD, of course, showing off. Yeah. But
the consistency is really a product of like a lot of people's work, but the bucket positioning at the beginning really goes a long way to giving you a lot of leeway so that you don't get like stuck in a wall or stuck out of bounds or anything like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And with the way you do it on Kehanort as well, with the pause buffering, makes it so you can get that specific pixel every time.
Yeah, I've actually been pretty lucky with my pause buffers. The last like 4 or 5 times that I've hit Lavos shell skip, I missed my pause frame and just kind of winged it and happened to hit my 1 and 4.
So Kehanort just going into the second part of the fight. Time to do one more elixir glitch. And beat the game. Kehanort, reminder, he fell behind because he accidentally saved over his other file while after missing Hacker and Skip. So he had to return all the way before our series. That's like a 15-minute time loss at least.
Yep.
6 plus 7. Well, more like 12, 13, yeah.
All right, I'm gonna step out and get ready for Zelda, guys.
Sounds good.
Good luck, dude.
Thanks for the razor. Good luck on
Thanks
Zelda.
for commentating. Bring us all home.
Will do. So he basically uses his mid-ether. He's an item now. Now he just needs to get up. And there we go. GG Kehanort.
Yep. Finished with a time of 2:58.47.
Sub 3, nice.
Yeah, that's a sub 3 with 15 minutes time loss for free. So yeah, that's pretty good, I want to say. GG. And yeah, I think that does it for us here. Hope you guys enjoyed the showcase race. Hope we could make this game enticing for you guys, enjoyable. Again, we posted the Discord link a couple of times if you're interested in this game. Make sure to check out the Discord, ask questions, get the resources and all that. Yeah, that's it from us, Jerry. Thank you very much for commentating with me. It was a pleasure as always.
Likewise, Magus. Likewise, always fun.
And yeah, up next we have the daily for Link to the Past Randomizer. So you guys enjoyed that, and yeah, have a nice evening. Cheers.
See ya.